This Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
Well, the clock says 4, so let's do this. You're on the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, as we all seem to be, ESPNSA.com, a fine locale where you can enter contests, catch up on all the daily news, upload photos to win $50 gift cards, enter your keyword for the big score. Watch us live. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for hanging out with us. James Pledger will drive this boat all the way till 7 o'clock. It's a game day balla, as Patty Mills is apt to say. We'll get you ready at 6:30 with Mellow Mushrooms Game Night San Antonio. Who's the expert and analyst that will be joining us today, Jason?
Evan Klosky, soon to be formerly of Ken's Five, he announces he's going to go to a big TV job down in Tampa. So, but Evan,
he's a ring chaser. He's just chasing a ring.
True. He won't deny it, but such a good Spurs Twitter follow. But Evan will be on at 6:30 before he heads down to the Florida Sunshine.
You think he was just trying to stay close to Urban Meyer? He couldn't quite get to Jacksonville, the Ohio State grad that he is. You think he had to, get to the same? We'll ask Evan when he joins us at 6:30. That's great
Tom
news
Brady.
for the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, to land the gig in a Super Bowl champion town with more, it seems to be coming. That's congratulations, Evan. Well earned, and I'm sure Joe Reinagle and the rest of the Ken's Five Sports crew are very excited about him moving along to fairer climes, I guess. Maddy Skye will join us for her regular here at 4:30. Well, South San Bobcats is a good school. I'm not. I went to West Campus, so I mean it's different. But I'm down, man. We all live up down on Military. We'll talk Spurs, of course, up and down. It is the trade deadline. It's the trade deadline. What are we, about exactly 24 hours away? Or about 22 hours away?
Yeah, about 23, really. I mean, you got to go Eastern, Central, right, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, but by this time tomorrow, we will know exactly what the Spurs did or did not do, along with every other NBA team.
You imagine you think there's some nervous types? You think there's a couple of guys sitting wondering because of maybe the rumors might be truer than others, or there's no sweat because they already know, and it's probably not going to be anything anyway.
It's interesting. I think probably there are some in the NBA circles, whether the actual player or agents, that keep refreshing Woj's Twitter page or Sham's Twitter page just to make sure. But the agents typically are pretty clued in, and so are the players, I would think. But we have heard it before where guys find out they're on the move because of Twitter.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. And we'll wait and see. With guarded optimism, I think the Spurs are on track to try to do something. Now, how monumental it is, I can't, who knows, but 22 hours and counting. There's a great little tape clip of an NHL ref that lost his gig because of what he said. He called a foul penalty. I guess there's no fouls in hockey, are there?
They're penalties.
No penalty on the Nashville Predators, who have kind of a history of being scrappy, so I've been told I'm not, by any stretch, a hockey fan. But what happened? Well, I'd like to be. It's too late in life for me. I can't pick up everything else. It's full. I'm a fun. I enjoy playoff hockey. You have taught me that, but let's get there. But anyway, the way refs and reffing are affected by the broader thing of gambling, really comes into play as to a long time. And I assume if you've lasted this long, a referee of some precedent, some worth. He's been around a while, and they fire him for what he did because it affected the outcome of the game in a way that wasn't, in a way that was manufactured instead of organic.
In reality, the penalty didn't hurt Nashville. They still won the game going away. It was early in the game, and he calls a penalty, and it was a bad call. Even the announcers at the time, I can't believe that was the call. What a dive, And typically you see bad calls, and you get on refs for a bad call, and you kind of look, well, from the angle, could it have been there? But these refs are mic'd up. When they make the announcement call at the scorer's table, this is what the penalty is and what it's for. Well, his mic was still on, And he said he just wanted to call an early foul on Nashville. He doesn't say why. We have no idea why, unless he's just trying to control the game. But because of that, the integrity of the game, that you're not supposed to have discretion in calls, and with the gambling aspect in mind, it's got to be cut or dry. Is that a foul? You can't just make one up, especially early. You come back to, Tim Donaghy, all of a sudden, you see a phantom call or a bad call. And look, we always see bad calls, but you like to think it's an honest mistake by the ref. Not, I'm intentionally out to get you, man.
Not mistake. I wouldn't put that term in there. But if you look back to the great NBA referees and the great NFL refs, the tunny guy, the guy with the muscles that was there forever, and the one that controlled the game, giving him the business down there, I think the greater or the more prominent the ref or the umpire, they took a little bit of discretion and did things like that because, hey, I'm part of the game and it's going to be played my way, which is depending on whether you're a fan of his way, the right or wrong way. That's NBA reffing to a T. The NHL heard one little video clip or audio clip and the dude got fired. I like it. I just think it seems a little harsh for what he did.
Well, and again, I think if there's no video, if there's no open mic, then he still has a gig today and probably has to explain to his boss, hey, what did you see here? Those refs, and we all know this, those refs get graded after every game. Could you imagine your job if every decision you made, you have to explain yourself at the end of the night to your boss, and then you get a grade at the end? And this guy's been doing it for 20 years. He's good at what he does. One slip up, and the gold watch is gone.
Yeah, that's a little much, but we're going to look really into it. You will hear what he said with the bleep. But the fact is, did hockey do the right thing, or was this a little abrupt and a little quick for something that's probably been going on forever and will continue to go on? We'll also look at the NCAA women's tournament here in SA. Games are being played, but as they continue to be played in the shadow of the weight room incident, a brighter light has been shined on how the NCAA handles the women's tournament versus the men's. And at every turn, it appears, and more people are speaking of, that the women just seem to be an afterthought.
It's a shame, but the reality is something that I think we all have known. But when you see it, and it is so pointed out, and the fact that it's happening in our city, I know for me, like I take Nell Fortner, who, New Braunfels high school grad in the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame, Olympic gold medalist, coaching Georgia Tech now. And man, they had an impressive win last night. But she pointed out, like, look, we're in this NCAA tournament, but if you're watching on TV, the floor doesn't suggest we're in a major NCAA championship like with the men. Now, being a San Antonio guy, I think it's really cool to see the UTSA Roadrunner floor on national TV, or to see the Texas State Bobcats or St. Mary's Rattlers gym, watching the Aggies play a home game at UT, which was kind of weird. I kind of like having those home floors, but I understand what she's saying. You turn it on, and you could be watching the UTSA Summer Classic, not necessarily the NCAA tournament. There's nothing when you turn it on that says this is big-time tournament basketball.
Feels like they just pinched pennies again. We're not going to have those extra floors made up, painted up, and ship them around. We're just going to get to play on the floor you're on. And hopefully people like Minix, that's good. Those schools do get some pub, and I'm sure they're happy with it. But as she said, it doesn't really signify how important the event is by just playing in another college gym. You turn on to a men's game, no matter they're playing some regional in Peoria, it's an NCAA tournament floor.
Yep. That's it. They didn't spring for the extra money for the floors no more than they did for the weight room.
It is another sign. And the real question is, I don't think any of us are shocked by this, but is everybody willing to pony up the money that is involved to get this done? There is a cost to it, and let's not kid ourselves. The men make a whole lot more money.
Sure.
I mean, there's a reason to do it, but is there the will to do it? We'll talk about that at 5:15. Don Harris, he at News 4 is going to join us, the sports god. We'll talk as on the precipice of the trade deadline, catch up with him at the women in town. It's always good to catch up with Don Harris of News 4. We're cooking tonight, too. And we have, to my knowledge, the only talk sports radio show, or radio sports talk radio show, however you want to phrase that, that hosts on the regular a Beard Award-winning chef that comes on not only to converse with us and answer questions about, I was going to call it the sweet science, but that's boxing, but about cooking, but offers you remarkable recipes of his design using keto-friendly ingredients, primarily Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. He will join us at 6 o'clock for yet another remarkable Beard Award-winning recipe as we prepare for Sweet 16 viewing, how you can entertain yourself and feed yourself while watching great basketball this weekend. Tim will be here. But coming back, let's look at the Spurs. The Clippers are in town. That means that guy's here. The trade deadline is tomorrow, and right in the middle of it, we get to play that guy twice. We'll talk about the Spurs-Clippers matchup coming up as there's a double dip headed our way of Clipperdom. Coming up next on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, a great meal starts with great meat. We tell you all the time about Tri-County Meat Market, locally owned, full service. They've carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice. They have everything you need to up your grilling game. And Rob, we talk about it all the time, the pick 5 for 25. I got some items the other day. In fact, on the Traeger right now are some country-style ribs that were part of the Pick 5 for 25 from Tri-County Meat Market. Put them on about 20 minutes ago. They'll be ready just as soon as the show is over at 7.
The glories of the Traeger and Tri-County Meat Market. I'll tell you, when we talk 5 for 25, we're literally talking about one of the 5 items he got for $25 was enough pork ribs to cook, our country-style ribs to cook. Fill your cupboard, fill your fridge with a 5 for 25. And we're talking about the best kind of meats, too. You got a beautiful akaushi. I say that correctly? Akaushi brisket coming up
for this weekend. Yes, sir.
Wagyu upper choice certainly can be found there. You like your meats prepared and pre-spiced and all that you need. Oh, man, that's what those Tri-County dudes do so well. Head over there and take a look at that meat market. As you walk around, you're looking for a rub, they've got that as well. And when you're a first responder, when you go to pay, you know you're going to get 10% off wherever, at either store that you head into. Over on Huebner, out on Ralph Fair Road. Head in for this weekend. Plan that Easter cook. It's just around the corner. Tri-County Meat Market, Ralph Fair Road, over on Huebner, or check out the website, tricountymeat.com.
Show us your meat.
On the grill.
Take a picture and upload it to ESPNSA.com, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday.
You know, injuries do happen. If you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries, and he does concussion baseline testing. There's no reason to be in pain. If you're hurting, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. They do have telemedicine services available through OrthoConnect. Start online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Going for a few days without water, then being told to boil your water when it came back on, that got a lot of people thinking, is my tap water safe? Hey, this is David Van Camp. Alamo Water Softeners can help you out. They've got top-of-the-line water softeners and filtration systems. They'll come out to your house for a free water analysis and explain what they can do for you. And Alamo Water Softeners is a 2020 neighborhood favorite on Nextdoor. Go to alamowatersofteners.com to schedule a free water analysis. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game and a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
And happy hour is back at Twin Peaks. Get up here Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree draft brews. Feeling snacky? We also have select apps available for $2, $4, and $6. Cheers!
Spring forward at Banana Republic Factory with 50 to 70% off everything. Shop season favorites from colorful dresses to easy tops from $19.99. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. Shop 50 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory. Get 60% off select jeans and dresses. Shop the sale through March 28th at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
In 2003, it was rare for freshmen to carry a college basketball team. Never mind two of them. But for Syracuse, Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara did just that, all the way to a national championship. Anthony led the team in scoring and rebounds, while McNamara led the team in assists and was third in scoring. In the national championship game against Kansas, Carmelo was the game's leading scorer with 20, and McNamara added 18.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
March is the biggest month in college basketball where teams across the country test their talent in the hopes of winning it all. For finding talent that can help your team win it all, there's LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
That is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio or 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com. Go there, post haste. This is for those keywords. The big score is back. Every hour we give you a keyword. Head to ESPNSA.com. You enter that there. You could win yourself $1,000. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPNSA all day, every day. All right, Jason, we're at the deadline. We have reached the day before. We're under 24 hours. The clock is ticking to see if the Spurs make a move. This is what we know. LaMarcus is gone. He probably won't be traded, but he certainly ain't coming back here. Other than that, DeMar, we have heard no word from the Spurs, whether they are close to an agreement, if they're even negotiating. Nothing from DeMar, certainly. He's been gone an awful lot. We also know that Rudy Gay has been preemptively prepared not to play tonight, with expectation. He's got some kind of a foot issue, I believe. That's what we've been told.
So Rudy is out, and Lonnie Walker, they're both
Lonnie
officially out. And what
Lonnie
I
does
find
have a
interesting,
legit wrist.
he does, and Rudy's in and out. But those are two that are likely to be involved in a lot of discussions the Spurs could be having. And the fact that they are both out tonight, it is pure coincidence. And we know that Lonnie's been dealing with the wrist. Rudy, left foot soreness is keeping him out on his bobblehead night of all nights. Maybe he'll DJ during the game, or in that final game check. Because it's a DJ bobblehead, if you hadn't seen all the promos for it during the games. But you look at this, and as we get closer and closer to the deadline, and over in the Spurs front office that Brian Wright and Pop having conversations, and it's got to suck for Pop and the coaching staff to have a game to get ready for tonight against the Clippers on the trade deadline, because, the focus is split right now. Whatever deals and the way the structure is with the Spurs, whatever Brian Wright might be working on, Pop's going to approve everything. So he's got to be involved in the conversations.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I
think Brian Wright is working at the behest of Pop's wishes. And if the deal can get done, get it done.
But he's still got to get Pop's approval. I mean, Pop has laid out
the guy that's not going to be here in a couple years.
Brian
Wright's got some leeway.
Well, but he knows what lines he gets to work within. And same with RC. But you look at it, all of a sudden, yesterday got really quiet involving Spurs. We haven't heard anything about DeMar since last week when Chris Haynes at Yahoo reported that the Spurs were trying to get a long-term deal done before the deadline. And outside of a report to Chicago, that's it. Everything got really quiet all of a sudden, which makes me think there's a lot of noise being made behind the scenes.
One other guy that is talking trade, actually outright, is Trey Lyles. Of all the guys, dude, we saved you. When you were drowning, remember when you couldn't swim and we threw you that floaty thing and pulled you in, and Pop worked with you and end up having a really good bubble and remember that? Well, dang. Well, he has actually brought up the fact that he might want to leave. So, and I understand it. The guy is a legit player. I think he's proven that he's an NBA player, and if you can make a little bit more money and get a little bit more time, more power to you. So that's where they sit right now. Now, Jason, I'm going to ask you this, and I want to ask everybody else out there in Blitz land, 656-3776-656-ESPN. As we sit with 22 hours before the draft, what's your best case scenario? Is it nothing? Is it trading DeMar? I mean, let's not be ridiculous and say we're trading LaMarcus. That'd be extraordinary, but it just doesn't seem like it's possible. But if you could play puppet master and do things on a fair-minded way, things that how it would act in the real world,
wait,
what
why?
would it be? I mean, yeah, you know what? If we could package DeMar and LaMarcus for LeBron, that would be really the best thing we could do. So we'll rule that one out and look toward the realm of possibilities. And maybe nothing is the best thing to do. I'm not sure.
Well, again, with DeMar, if you have some sort of assurance that he is going to be here long term, in other words, if you don't get a deal done this week, but he says, I'm open to being here next year, and I don't see a reason why I wouldn't be unless somebody just throws a ridiculous amount of money at me, I'll re-sign. That's the only reason why I would want to trade DeMar is if I don't think he's going to be here. If he's like, I don't care what you guys offer, I'm not re-signing here, then you try to get something in return. Can they make their team better? The Spurs are not going to make a move just to make a move at the deadline. That has just never been part of their DNA. Other teams, it seems like, well, it's trade deadline. I got to do something. I'm a GM. Let me make a trade. The Spurs aren't going to do that. It's funny, though, when you look at Spurs Twitter, and there is nothing more reasonable and rational than what you read on Spurs Twitter, especially when it comes to trades. But it does seem like everybody not named Keldon Johnson, people are so ready to get rid of. I don't understand the recent Derek White hate, why everybody seems so ready to get rid of Derek White. And it's not fair to gauge everything you see from Spurs Twitter because, like I said, very rational group of people. But all of a sudden, Derek White, what happened? He went from fan favorite to all of a sudden just get rid of him for a bag of chips?
Well, I don't think he's ever been a fan favorite. I think he was there at the right time and did some very good things while DeJounte was gone. He did it while DeJounte was hurt or rehabbing. Together, they've had good nights. I'm not going to question it. But I think that I think it's coming down to something that I realized a couple of days ago. We're headed in the right direction. And if they did absolutely nothing and you can play these young guys out for a little while longer to truly get a feel for who will be here and be part of what I think is going to end up being a big three with two guys kind of rotating through. I think that seems to be the model that works well across the NBA for middle and smaller market teams. So if there's going to be only three, well, we got five. We're going to have to figure out which three are really going to be most amenable and available and able to do what Pop wants and whoever's here next. If we're going to head that direction, if they know already, let's make a move. Let's do what we need to do to make that next step. But if you're not sure and you're not sure about DeMar, I would have no problems at all just letting it skate because I do know no matter what happens, I'm going to have a whole lot of money to spend in free agency. I'm going to have that. So while it might not happen today, it will happen late in the summer. So I think this team's in good stead, and I think they've proven that they're capable of beating the best teams in the league this year. That's the first step. Are you capable? Can you do it as we have? And they have. The next step is, can you do it on a consistent basis? And that's trying all these different parts and getting everybody in the same place. And while it's been hard, we still haven't had a chance to see everybody together for an extended length of time. And I can understand if Pop's like, I'm not ready to make that decision. I still got 30 more games. And, we're going to end up being under 10. We're going to play in that little playoff bubble thing. I can't imagine how we're not. It's a 500 league. And if we don't make it, well, that wasn't really in the plan anyway. And if we do make it, well, heck, we're ahead of the game, although we lost the draft position.
That said, I do believe the Spurs are ahead of schedule. At least by what my expectations were, they are playing ahead of schedule. So do you want to break that up? The only issue I have with the statement you just made is they are going to have a whole lot of money to spend in free agency. The problem is getting free agents that want to come and sign and play for the San Antonio Spurs. And yeah, they'll be able to get guys to show up. They'll be able, but are they going to be the kind of guys you're looking for that can take a good team and turn them into a great team?
As long as Pop's here. As long as Pop's here. Now, I'm not talking about going and buying another LaMarcus. That's not coming. But I am talking about solid pieces and parts that add to a young team that aid in that with guys that are still capable of carrying their own water. And I think Pop could bring that in on a regular basis. He always has. Because, again, we got 5 dudes. We got superstars in the making already. We don't need to go find one. Now, if we get one, it really kind of speeds the process. I'm talking about guys like we have seen year in and year out, power forwards that, are transient posts that are good for 20 minutes and 10 rebounds and 8 points a night. which is all Pop really wants. There's a lot of those guys. But you're right. We're not bringing in another superstar to carry us. So there's no DeMar DeRozan coming here. There's no LaMarcus coming here. It's more like those pieces and parts. And again, if you're ahead of schedule, then those guys would be appropriate. But if you don't think you are, well, maybe you do need to swing a little bit further, a little bit harder, and maybe offer one of these pieces that you're not sure about as you sit today.
And then you look at if a Trey Lyles doesn't necessarily want to be here, they'll get rid of him. And that might be for a second-round pick. That might be to bolster the G League. That might be to add to Pop's wine collection. You never know. But if there's a guy that doesn't want to be here, the Spurs aren't going to force somebody to be here. They've been really good about that over the last couple of years. And you're seeing LaMarcus, who is going to get bought out and will end up signing with the Miami Heat, and you get nothing in return for him except thanks for doing what you did for the San Antonio Spurs. And I hope Spurs fans over time appreciate what he did and meant for this organization at the time he was here.
I think he will. I think he will be remembered in the vein of Kobe Dietrich. I love Kobe.
You might need to refreshen that up for some of our younger audience that wasn't around in the 70s.
When you look to the past and you think about a guy who gave you everything he had, but the teams just weren't good enough. It was a bad time. There were super teams out there. That's LaMarcus. He gave us everything he had, but there were superstars out there, and our run had ended. It's just he got here a couple of years too late. So I think I will finally remember him. He gave us everything, but in the annals of Spurs history, I don't think he's any much. I put Mario Elie above that because at least Mario brought us a ring. You know what I mean? I hate to say it.
I mean, I don't want to look. I'm not saying retire his number. Hell, 12's already up in the Raptors. It just has Bowen's last name on it. But I do think that there should always be a little bit more respect than other guys that have come and gone through this organization. And part of that is he did choose us in free agency. Biggest superstar to ever choose the San Antonio Spurs. Well, and at one point he wanted to get traded.
Yeah, he chose us, wanted out, chose us again. Talked him back and tried to expand his game. No, I'm with you, but it just didn't. It was bad timing. We all had best intentions. He did too. It just didn't work out.
You don't want to be the guy to replace the legend.
Never.
And quite frankly, there's a guy in town that's going to be in the visitor locker room. That's a big reason why LaMarcus's era went the way it did with the San Antonio Spurs, and that is not on LaMarcus Aldridge.
This is your last. LaMarcus, put your uniform on just tonight, and you can go Zaza one last time to the guy that scuttled your Spurs ringdom. Hey, coming back, let's get a little breath of sunshine, right? Maddy Skye is going to us next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Is it me or is it you? I thought you were starting to go.
I think we're doing Quarter Moon.
All right, well, I'll tell you about Quarter Moon. If you're having issues at the house with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, there is one company to call. I didn't have the list in front of me. There's one company to call, and that is Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are full service. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quarter Moon, they do not have commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. It is that time of year where you want to get your AC tuned up, ready to go. If you're not on a maintenance plan, just to make sure if you've got a small issue, it doesn't turn into a major issue in July when it's 108 outside. 210-651-5899 is the number for Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
The Big Score is back. We're giving you 13 chances a day to win $1,000. Just listen for the keyword once an hour, every hour between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. Just another way it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Thomas J. Henry recently recovered $22 million in a wrongful death trucking case. If you were hurt in an accident, we can help. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Mother's Window Tint sells Alpine car stereo. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is the nation's newest Alpine dealer. To celebrate, we're saving you money on everything we sell. Car stereos, speakers, subwoofers, amplifiers, car alarms, remote start alarms, ceramic window tint, GPS tracking, all on sale. You're gonna save. Stores in Austin and San Antonio since 1984. Mother's Window Tint. Sales, service, installation. Thousands of adapter kits in stock. Great low prices. Like us on Facebook and send us a message. Mother's Window Tint sells Alpine car stereo. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Are you okay?
Fine, just tackling the hall closet. I'm flinging myself into spring cleaning.
I'm going to clean up on Chardonnays at low prices at Total Wine. I want to fling into spring with thousands of wines, spirits, and beers to explore. We can save big and mix up cocktails with tequilas and fruit-flavored vodkas. There's so many choices. Chardonnays, rosés, pinots, proseccos.
I'm going to Total Wine with you.
Wondrous selection, helpful guides, always low prices. Total Wine and more. Drink responsibly, B21.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
The Wendy's restaurant in your area has issued a major bag alert.
Bag alert, major bag alert.
The bacon double stack is back in the biggie bag with fries, nugs, and a drink, all for just $5. The following are to be expected: joy, disbelief, inability to think about anything else. This deal is effective immediately, and it's only at Wendy's.
Major bag alert. Bag alert, major
Biggie
bag.
bag includes 4-piece nuggets, small fry, and small grains. U.S. price and participation may vary.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
You know it's hard to see all of what goes on in the city. That's why we got Maddy Skye.
That's right. We got her. Welcome back to the Blitz. It's Wednesday at 4:30. We are joined, as always, by my San Antonio's own Maddy Skye. Welcome aboard, Maddy. How are you doing today?
Hi, everybody.
You doing all right? You seem like you're in a really good mood today.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
All right, maybe not. So, we've reached Maddy Skye at a major party there at the Skye household.
It's very hard working from home. You got to give people warnings that you're going to be busy.
You need an on-air light. I'm live on air in
definitely
San Antonio and around the world at mysa.com or at espnsa.com. If you want to see her, go there. We got the broadcast live, our YouTube channel going right there, and Facebook Live as always. All right, Maddy, let's get into something that I am so annoyed by. I'm furious by, and I want to thank you for the retort to one Dr. Lena Wynn, MD. It was broken a couple of days ago that Krispy Kreme was going to give, if you had your card and you had completed your vaccination, you could go in and get a free donut. Thank you, Krispy Kreme. What do you do for a business? Oh, you make donuts, and you're going to donate what you do as a business to people for going out and doing something that is helping them and the rest of society. Well, Dr. Lena Downer Wynn replies, hey, Krispy Kreme, I love that you want to thank people for getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Every incentive helps, and free donuts may help move the needle. However, Donuts are a treat that's not good for health if eaten every day. Here are my suggestions for what to do instead. This is the first tweet of 4. Well, my first word I can't say on the radio. The second word, it's you. What the hell, lady? That infuriated me, and I want to thank you for stepping in and going, everybody, really? You're upset about a donut?
Yeah, one of my coworkers, she's been on the front lines of the reporting this entire pandemic, and she was the first that I've seen here in San Antonio that was basically telling her to chill out. I think that's where her words were. But I think one of my other coworkers made a good point that Krispy Kreme gives out donuts regardless. Whenever the hot and ready sign is on, or whatever that's called, you can go in and get a free donut, you know, normally. So, and after all we've been through, I think we deserve a treat.
Well, all right. Now, and no offense to Krispy Kreme, it's smart on them. I mean, and not everybody that has it. I don't know. I'm sure there will be somebody that shows up every day and gets one donut.
I know
but again,
somebody that would definitely do that.
but if they're offering up any kind of incentive, why would anybody in their right mind want to say, "Well, that sucks, man. Don't do that." I just don't understand why some people just have to take everything and go negative with it.
It's unhealthy.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody. There's always going to be somebody that finds a negative in a positive situation.
Well, if Bob's House of Quinoa would offer a free bowl of quinoa with every shot, we would go do that. But they haven't. Krispy Kreme gave me a free donut.
I love quinoa. Free quinoa would be great for me.
I don't even know what it is.
Apparently, Maddy likes everything out of a bowl. Which is
exactly.
I don't understand that comment either. Everything out of a bowl,
like just mixed together like a goulash. It always tastes better.
I missed that, but well,
it was one of the Maddy Skye tweets that generates a lot of interesting responses.
Just yelling into the void. It's true though. Think about Chipotle has made a killing on just bowls.
It's the keto friendly style where you don't get the carbs, you just get the proteins.
Oh no, you get carbs. You get the rice.
Well, you're doing it right then.
For sure. Yeah. So.
She is Maddy Skye joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, looking for carbs and lots of donuts. I just saw word that the city is saying some 30,000 new vaccine doses are going to be available for appointments, and you can start making yours tomorrow. It seems like the floodgates are opening, and starting on Friday, everybody can go get their shot?
Monday, I believe, the 29th.
Oh, it's Monday?
Yes, Monday. So I will definitely be trying to get myself an appointment. I didn't qualify before, so we'll see. The only thing is I've been super excited to get this shot, but then I forgot that I'm actually very afraid of shots.
As somebody that is deathly afraid of needles, it didn't hurt. I got my second vaccine yesterday, and I noticed I've had, I don't know how many people that have checked on me today to see what side effects. None. Fine today. It doesn't hurt, and it's one of those shots that you look forward to. And I am the biggest baby when it comes to getting shots. I don't like them. I don't want nothing to do with a needle, yet there's a level of excitement when that one is going into your arm.
Good to know. That's actually really helpful, because did you get the Moderna? Are you team Moderna or team Pfizer?
Pfizer.
Okay.
Yeah, all Pfizer, all day.
So we're different teams now?
Well, of course. Got to pick a side.
I had no idea. Well, Maddy, as we sit today, the day before the trade deadline for the San Antonio Spurs, are you concerned? Are you worried that the Spurs are going to make a move? Are you worried that they're not going to make a move?
To be honest, I haven't really been keeping up with that, but I think in typical Spurs fashion, they might not make a move. I've been so busy, but I don't know. I've been seeing some rumors that are kind of escalating on Twitter that are riling people up.
Would it bother you to say goodbye to Derek White or DeJounte Murray or any of the Spurs players? Do you feel like they've built a home here and they become permanent type Spurs?
Definitely. I think both Derek White and DeJounte Murray have that forever Spur possibility in them. But yeah, I don't even know. Are they available to be traded?
Everybody on this team is available to be traded if it's for the right price. There are no untouchables on this team except maybe a Keldon Johnson, in my book, anyway.
Well, now I'm nervous.
No, don't be. It's the Spurs and the trade deadline.
For that
Just
level
another
of
day that ends in
thing.
Y.
Maddy Skye,
true.
the best social media follow in all of San Antonio. So we've been told you need to be following her on Twitter. It's at Maddy Skye, and there's an E on the end of that. All right, as you've made your travels around San Antonio, any new restaurants, anything of note that we need to be aware of as the weekend is almost here?
There's actually a new pop-up that is all fry-based. So we have like fry-based burritos, carne asada fries, which isn't anything out of the norm for San Antonio. It's called Man versus Fries, and it's a pop-up on Crosswinds Way. And it's like, what's interesting about it is that it's a national chain, and they just opened in San Antonio. And I don't know if people in Chicago or elsewhere maybe don't have the resources that we do and have never tasted these before, but people in Chicago are saying that it tastes like Jesus Christ made it. So
wow.
There's that. That's a pretty lofty review
Jesus
there.
Christ ate fried foods? I'm glad to hear that. So where's Crosswinds? Where's this?
I think it's somewhere by Austin Highway. Could be wrong.
All right. Well, I mean, we can all Google that. But so when you say a pop-up, so it's not a permanent location. You just have to.
No, it's a pop-up shop, and it's all delivery and takeout.
As a national chain, they just go around and. So when is it? Where is it? What are the details on that? Because I'm very interested in essentially getting gas station food from the QT, but at a pop-up that's going to taste good. Apparently,
every day from 11 p.m. to sell out.
11 p.m. So it's so
11
it's after
a.m. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So sorry. 11
I was gonna say, no wonder they think it tastes so good. It's because you're coming home from the bar. You need fried food.
Yes. No, 11 a.m. to sell out. So, and they use DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. So you have some options there.
What's it called again?
Man versus Fries.
Man versus Fries. Man versus Food, a fine show on the Food Network. Maddy Skye joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. I've noticed, as people are getting shots and things are opening up more and more and spending a lot more time out on the highways, congestion is turning into a real thing again. We haven't seen that in a year.
Oh yeah, it was so bad last weekend. It felt like every exit I took or every lane I got into was just really bad. So it was terrible.
Road
traffic's
rage on
bad.
The
Gas prices are going up. Things are getting back to normal. The one thing that I have noticed is places like Whitewater Floors starting to fill up their concert schedules. The schedule coming up at Whitewater looks pretty incredible. We're starting to see more and more music venues booking bands again. We're not quite back to the way concerts were prior to, but at least these shows are getting booked. Are you starting to see more and more events that are popping up, which kind of leads me into, and if I've forgotten about it, but what are we doing with Fiesta in the summertime? Everything still seems to be on track?
Well, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any updates so far, but I know that King William, one of the biggest fairs or events, is canceled. And so they're doing a float parade, house parade, kind of like how New Orleans did Mardi Gras. They're going to decorate all the homes. And there's actually a lot of people already signed up to participate. There's like 40. So in April 15th to the 25th, it's going to be like a parade of homes that you can go drive by or walk by and see, and they should all be decorated like Fiesta. But other than that, I haven't really heard much else.
Other than the ones that we already heard were canceled, and the other ones that were on hold, maybe there are still going to be some sort of events going on. We'll see.
Right. So it's all just a kind of a day-by-day basis. But our positivity rate is the lowest it's ever been, so that's some good news. Especially after everything reopened. I think a lot of people are obviously very nervous, but it's 2.3% last I checked. I think it updates once a week. So got Metro Health to confirm that's the lowest that it's been since we started using that as a surveillance metric. So that's welcome news, and hopefully
it is very welcome news
that way.
And that doesn't matter. Still keep your mask on, practice the social distancing, keep doing what you're doing, stay positive, test negative, and the shots are available. The vaccines are out there. We just got something passing through that 30,000 appointments will be made available tomorrow evening. You might want to get on the socials and find out where that is. Maddy, thank you so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. Stay safe.
Of course. You too, guys. Thank you.
We'll talk with Maddy next week and Wednesdays, as we do every week. Maddy Skye, make sure you're following her on mysa.com. Hey, coming up, A referee in the NHL lost a long career over one statement caught on tape, something that I'm sure many others have done and will continue to do. We'll go over what he did next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you just need your logo or something embroidered, you know you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over there on San Pedro. You need your logo on masks, on shirts, on jackets, on caps. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from: medical, restaurant, service industry. You're going back to the office. You need shirts for your employees for that good professional look. Sammy's Embroidery Club is the place to go because nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround, no order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit the massive showroom on San Pedro. It's 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with a warranty, and you'll work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's time for ESPN San Antonio's Big Score. This hour's keyword is Big Red. Enter that keyword at ESPNSA.com for your chance to win $1,000. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here from ESPN San Antonio for my friends at Alamo Water Softeners. Following the winter storm and freeze, lots of people have asked, is the water safe to drink? And if you have a water softener, do you need a water filter? Alamo Water Softeners recommends both. Call today for a free water analysis. Alamo Water Softeners will come test your water for free and give you an estimate. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, your home to 7 days a week happy hour. Come eat, drink, and socialize safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And now you can join us bright and early at the newest location, Slackers Medical Center. Now opens at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center at Fredericksburg and Medical Drive. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 area locations to quench your thirst.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
It is a Blitz. Excuse me. It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN Center. This is a weird day, man. Weird day. Welcome aboard. It's hump day. We made it over this morning. My trash day is Wednesdays. I only get one trash day.
Uh-huh.
And I missed it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, normally you kind of get used to when your mailman comes. I thought I knew when my trash guy came, and I didn't have to get up early in the morning. I could get it, leisurely get it out there because I was kind of at the end of the day kind of run. Well, evidently you got a new driver, and they're coming early.
What
so
else happened last week that may have led to the trash not being out in time? Was somebody missing from the household, or?
That's why today
the
was
reminder
so
wasn't there.
Yeah. And I awoke to a lovely note on the, I don't know if you guys get the bathroom mirror notes. I get a bathroom mirror note right when I walk in, right above my sink, and I'm looking in the mirror. My wife will write in eyeliner, a note to make sure that I've seen it. So
wow.
I got the note. All right, we got the trash is kind of piling up. Well, the folks over at Alamo Cycleplex has let me play with a Honda Talon. It's one of these just amazing dune buggy, rocking 4-wheel drive, climb a tree kind of all-terrain vehicles. That's lots of fun to play around with, but it's really not made to haul anything. But hey, man, I got this thing. I'm taking it down. So I loaded up my my ATV, my dune buggy, in with just pile. I got six
you got
trash
bags everywhere on this thing.
I got 6 trash bags that have been covered. I mean, I got to keep them from the varmints, so it's not like it's leaking anything, but it's a lot of trash. And I am, what's the term? Hauling balls down the driveway, down around the corner to because I can hear him coming. Well, I realize as I'm getting closer and I have to wait for the gate open that he's missed me. So he's past me and he's going the other direction. Well, I turned the corner, turn a hard right, and one bag flies off right in the road. But I can't let this guy go. So I speed up beside him. And I'm like, hey, and I'm driving in this dune buggy. He looks over at me. His eyes get as big as Coke bottles. Like, what? And he pulled over. Good dude. Pulled over, opened the thing up, and I had to throw the bags in, but I pulled up. It was like an action movie. If he'd have just kept the door open while we were driving, it would have been miraculous. It would have been perfect. But no, we pulled over. I got the trash out. Thanks to Alamo Cycleplex. I wouldn't have got the trash out.
Sounds
another
like
reason to buy one.
Out of the A-team. Yes. Or just remember when your trash day is. Now, what happened to that one bag that went flying? Is it still there?
No, we wouldn't got it. That's the great thing about the Honda R1000 Talon. It has reverse.
You
zip right back.
You went back, got it.
And
the trash guy didn't want to double check to make sure you were paying to use his services. He didn't think you belonged to one of them other services because you live in the weird neighborhood where everybody has their own different trash company. Or in the city, and we only got one day, and if you miss it, man, you can try calling, but they ain't coming.
Really, you guys only get one day? It's been so long since I lived in the city. I remember we got 2 days.
The hardest part about what we technically have 2, but one day is for trash, and I think that's on Tuesday, and then the other day is the recycle day.
Think?
Well, I never know when trash day is. When I go for the nightly walk, if the neighbors have a brown can out, I put the brown one out. If they got the blue one out, I put the blue one out. I'm never really sure, and typically it's Joanna's responsibility to make sure the thing gets to the end of the street because she doesn't like to put it out the night before because if something gets into it or if it blows over. But if you put it out,
you mock me.
I don't wake. I don't wake up early enough to. Well, of course I do. I don't wake up early enough. Huh?
When's the green one go out?
I don't have a green one. Some of my neighbors have green ones. No, I've got a blue one and a brown one. The green, what color do I have? Yeah, or a green. Do I have green and brown? I don't know what I have. Maybe I do have green
brown and blue.
I think you're making this up as you go along.
No,
you don't even know what color your trash cans are.
Because he doesn't do it.
Yet you mock me.
No, because we technically have 3. One of them is for recycles. One of them is for regular trash, and one of them is for landscaping. But we don't have that one. When we moved in the city, we didn't get that one. We only got 2. And
you have to pay for that?
As much as I want to recycle and be a good steward, I get letters in the mail from our recycling company, which is the city, that is wanting to fine you because apparently I put things in there that aren't supposed to go in there. But they never tell you what was in there that wasn't supposed to be in there. But they want to fine you. I'm not a fan of that.
How do they know it's your trash?
That's the other question I have. I have no idea. I know we spend extra money on the recycle see-through bags,
But the city garbage man a Christmas present. He's mad at you. He turned you into the recycle cops.
Uh-huh.
You might want to take care of your garbage man. Maybe scare him with a dune buggy every now and then. You'll remember who you are. Maybe even honk the horn and say, I'm out here, bring the trash. Which, I would tip for that. If they would just, honk. And come on, bring the trash.
Just text you, Thompson, we know you're not going to remember, man. I'm 20 minutes away. You're kind of like the guy showing up to repair something. They give you that 30-minute text.
Can't we have an app?
Or if you
just
have
make an app.
Yeah, like Uber, so you can follow its route and know when it's
That's
close.
all I need. If you'll give me that, you probably want to track your trucks anyway. You don't want them driving your trash trucks out to, places of ill repute. You want them on the line. You want them picking up trash. You put the little low jack on them. Let me follow them too. That way we're all happy. I'm a problem solver, Jason.
You would never open that app to check to see where your guy's at.
You think I wouldn't? That would be fantastic. Are you kidding me?
You would open it up on the wrong day going, why is he way over there? How is he going to get to my house?
Well, if I open it up and he was way over there, I'd know today and my day. If I open it up and I get like a 5-mile vicinity warning, bing, within 5 miles.
But what you need is the trash company to start up with trash alerts. So in other words, on your day, you should get a text message at 7 a.m. Don't forget to put your trash out, Rob.
At like my Amazon deliveries. We are out on route. There are 17 stops. That's all I really want to know. That way I can get it out there in my Honda R1000 Talon from Alamo Cycleplex, and no worries.
The only other problem with that though is when you're following people. Have you ever noticed on Uber Eats you can track your driver, and it pisses me off when I realize he's got 3 other stops.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, you've already picked up my food. Now you're at another restaurant waiting on somebody else's food.
And now
you're at another restaurant. I don't like
deep fried that they've wrapped in plastic. So by the time he gets to me, it's basically just kind of pudding. I've learned over this last year, you can't order deep fried delivered.
No,
at least I haven't. I have not had good luck with anything like gorditas. It doesn't travel well.
My worst delivery meal was chicken fried steak, and
see that crust gets a little mushy.
Was disappointing when it got home.
Food science, next step, baby. We've done next step at a lot of different things. Next step now is we need to maintain that crunch in the delivery. I don't know how you do it. There is a story regarding an NHL ref that we will hit next hour. I don't know how we skated past that. It's really a good one. Coming back.
Because it was talking hockey, which is something you avoid.
I have no idea.
I really did plan because I do think there are ramifications well beyond the NHL for what they did today. I really do, because what I heard he did is something not uncommon to a lot of other referees that are running games. They're going to set the precedent. It's going to be played my way, and I'm going to call this first one. I'm going to tell you why I did it. Well, he did that, said why he did it, and got fired. We'll talk about it in the 5 o'clock for sure. But you Alden Smith fans, that wonderful comeback, well, he's still coming back, but he ain't coming back here. We'll talk some Dallas Cowboys. It appears Alden Smith is on the road coming up next here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I went skiing a little over a week and a half ago. Came back with a pretty sore back. It wasn't because I fell skiing. It was the 13-hour car ride back. It was twinging and tightening up day after day after I came back. Well, I've been an Arasti patient for the last 3 years, and I'll tell you, I went in initially for the very same issue that I was running into. The great guys over at Arasti, not only that first time that I went in, and the next time I went in, worked it out, got me back in the game quick. I'm talking about 2 visits. I'm back in what used to be 3 weeks. Well, while you go, and one of the reasons you want to go to an Arasti provider is not only are they going to take care of you in a non-invasive way, it doesn't involve long-term treatments. We're not talking about medications either over-the-counter or prescriptive to dull the pain. They fix the pain because they fix the problem. He taught me how to fix my own problem. I learned the stretches, I got the implements, and he taught me how to use them when I run into this situation again. Bam, I worked myself out, did what I was taught, and I'm feeling better today. That's what's great about Arasti. If you're dealing with pain, soft tissue injuries, those sprains, those strains from plantar fasciitis in your feet to tension headaches in your neck and back, all the way up to your head and everything in between. They can take care of you in a remarkably short amount of time. When you call an Arasti provider, you know they're going to accept most insurances, and you'll never need a referral to even make that call. I want you to get into Arasti and find out what I know. You are going to feel better in a remarkably short amount of time. Check out their website, Arasti.com, AIRROSTI.com. You can make your appointment there. You can see a map of all the different providers and those ticks and trips. No, those pointers, those tips, those tricks that help you get better. They're on the website. I want you to call Arasti today. Get yourself out of pain, and when you do, I'm sure you will thank me later.
Game nights, the Blitz goes silver and black.
This is Matt Bonner. Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
It's Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. 30 minutes before every game night on the Blitz, we give you an in-depth look at your silver and black. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. Spend your game nights with us.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
You know Diamonds Direct always has the best selection of precious diamonds. But right now, in the aftermath of 2020's challenges, it's better than ever before. With all the disruptions last year, Diamonds Direct stayed strong and aggressive, working with diamond cutters around the world, finding exceptional values and taking advantage of unique opportunities. The result? A spectacular selection of new, rare, precious diamonds, all shapes, all sizes, from a half carat to 20 carats, and all certified by the GIA. And offered at prices you never thought possible. So make plans now to visit our showroom and see for yourself this expanded selection. Let our expert associates show you multiple choices in the size and shape diamond you're interested in, so you can make the most informed decision with zero pressure. And take comfort in the fact that at Diamonds Direct, whatever happens in the world, we never let anything stop us from our mission to get you the diamond of your dreams. Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Contaire.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Hey, James, that order just doubled. We got to move fast here.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Somebody pick up that phone.
Like at Luca's Gourmet Frozen Pizza Company. To operate at scale, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
From the Mother's Window Tint Studios. Online at motherswindowtint.com. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is the Blitz. Welcome aboard here on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Going until 7 o'clock tonight. We're in that dead period there in the tournament. Though we got hoops tonight. It's a game day balla, as Patty Mills is apt to say, and we will get busy at 6:30 with the Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We got a lot of Spurs talk even before then. We'll look at the Dallas Cowboys right now. The ladies tournament continues to garner some negative attention, but attention that is well needed. We'll get into that next. But the Dallas Cowboys, over the last couple of days, they have entertained a variety of defensive backs, Jason. Signed themselves an Atlanta Falcon that fits Mr. Quinn's new defense, and more were coming. Late word, though, is the two that came in might not necessarily be signed immediately, though the visit is complete.
Well, it's interesting because it looked like there was a newfound interest in signing a safety, which seemed to be a position that Jerry never wanted to shop for before. It'd be like me going and buying asparagus. I know it's out there. I know it's probably good for you. I just don't ever have it on my plate. But all of a sudden, he's going and he's looking at maybe, unless it's wrapped in bacon. if
and
you
that's
look
the one
at
you'll
it,
take.
I'll just eat the bacon. But you look at it there, Malik Hooker's in for a visit today, starts tweeting immediately about how great the visit was, leading to speculation. Casey, that visit happens. Curse, that visit happens. And then there's reports that say it doesn't sound like anything is imminent with any of the players. Now, I know they've got to look at medicals and, it was the kind of the first visit. They'll check fit. They'll do all those kind of things. But it is kind of surprising to think you do 3 safeties and you're not signing any of them. You let them walk out of the building, and we know how this works. I mean, one of them might sign. I mean, Malik Hooker seemed. You go to his Twitter, and man, you're like, all right, man. Well, what are the numbers? Wait, no deal. What happened? So are you just teasing me, Jerry, that, hey, Dan Quinn wants to interview a bunch of safeties. You're letting them bring them into the building, but they're not staying?
I already got one of them.
Who might be a linebacker?
Linebacker safety. I don't know how much money Jerry's willing to spend on that back end, but I do know that when we look at all of the mock drafts that we've seen from Mel Kiper specifically, it's a DB. I mean, it's a cornerback to go along with another cornerback that came in last year. We saw some improvement at safety. We added a safety. They interviewed a couple of more defensive backs. I wonder if they're looking to say, all right, in one of our draft boards, one of those scenarios would involve us drafting a safety. I know they're looking at the safety out of TCU has garnered some attention from the Cowboys over the weeks. And maybe they would prefer to have that guy maybe in the whatever round they have him pegged. And we know what's available. We work these guys out. We like them. But if we can get the same thing cheaper for a little bit longer, we're going to do that. And if you're still around after the draft, we'll call you if we need you. But now we know who you are. Do you think that's where they're headed?
Well, honestly, not sure. They need one of these guys in free agency. They do. Because even if you were to pick up, say, a Trevion Moore, who's likely going to go late first round, early second round, I don't know that he's going to be available when the Cowboys pick unless they trade down, which is certainly a possibility. If, say you go from the 10th pick to 24, 28, whatever, somewhere in there. And maybe that's what they're thinking. Same with Caden Stearns, who's projected to be 3rd round, could go 2nd round. So, I mean, and those 2 guys, San Antonio guys, that'd be awesome for them to be on the Cowboys. But I still don't know that I want to go with a rookie safety. I want one of those veteran guys. And when you look at all the signings today that you're seeing, from T.Y. Hilton to Ndamukong Suh, all of them, 1-year deals, roughly $10 million. These safeties aren't 1 year, $10 million. They're 1 year, 3 to 5, maybe 6. Everybody is signing 1-year deals right now. So if you're the Cowboys, did you offer a 1-year deal? And they said, no, they want longer term. But it seems like the way this NFL offseason is going at this point, a whole bunch of lower dollar amount 1-year deal, higher guaranteed money, less bonus. Like T.Y. Hilton, 1 year, $10 million, 8 guaranteed, another $2 million possible in incentives. Part of that is because of the lower salary cap, and then what we're expecting to see with the major rise in the salary cap in coming years. Nobody wants a 3 or 4 year deal right now, so it is fairly much bargain shopping right now for the Cowboys. You bring 3 of them in. Which one do you like? Which one do you think is going to be the best fit? Which one is the best fit for the scheme-wise? But you got Malik Hooker, Ohio State guy. He's got a lot of friends on that Cowboys team. He'd be a good locker room guy, it sounds like.
I don't have a problem with anybody they've brought through. I think, beggars can't be choosers, and certainly just seeing attention paid to one of those that has really just been left alone for the last several years is, it's good to see. Ed Werder tweeted earlier today that it appears the Dallas Cowboys have informed Aldon Smith that they have decided to move right on from that comeback. Aldon, we didn't know you long. We're used to these guys showing up, rehabbing, and making more money, but we thought it appeared that Aldon was actually going to stay. I wonder what has occurred.
It will be interesting to see what the backstory is with this, because I thought he would come back. Now, with Randy Gregory and some other guys, does he stunt the growth? Maybe he's asking for too much money. But I am surprised to see the Cowboys moving on from him, partly because he was such a Mike McCarthy project in year one. You know, Mike McCarthy and Jay Glazer at Jay Glazer's gym, they had that connection. The guy hadn't played football in 5 years, and he played well. Maybe there are some things inside the locker room that didn't play well that the Cowboys decided to move on from. I don't know that, if he has a history with Dan Quinn that obviously isn't going to mix well, not that I'm aware of, but you would think that Aldon Smith would show a little loyalty to Mike McCarthy, but the Cowboys would show some to Aldon Smith. I am surprised to see after 1 year that it's the Cowboys saying, dude, you got to move on. It's not the other way around. It's not that you see a number, like when Robert Quinn left the Cowboys and signed with the Bears, and we all saw the number. We went, well, of course, yeah, Chicago, take that. There's no way the Cowboys were going to do that. I thought if Aldon Smith wasn't with the Cowboys, we would see a deal like that. And the fact that he doesn't have a deal with any team is a bit of a surprise.
5 sacks is going to be hard to replace. I know that there's some talk about, emphasizing Randy Gregory's skills, and I'm all for it. But if you're hanging your hat on the mental stability of Randy Gregory, and I'm not trying to,
sure,
but he hasn't had the best track record, and certainly he has every bit of the skill that I think we want. But that's a bold step if you're feeling comfortable enough to let somebody like Aldon Smith go, who certainly, he's not all pro material, but you got him cheap, 5 sacks, and was available. He wasn't hurt. And Gregory, well, he's had other issues. So I'm all for it. I mean, he's certainly worked a long time to get where he is, and maybe that's enough in the Cowboys' eyes to say, you proved it. Now it's time to go and get what you should have gotten several years ago if you'd have kept yourself clean.
In Randy Gregory, most recent history, and again, we're thinking about the total Randy Gregory package, that's the good and the bad. Recently, it's been good. And so if he's going to be the starter, how much are you really going to pay Aldon Smith to be a backup? And you got DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side, the Gallimore and Tristan Hill coming off of injury. The light bulb finally went off for Tristan Hill. Yes, so that defensive front might be a little bit more secure than what we think it is with some of those young guys that got playing time last year. And if Tristan Hill recovers from the injury and continues to develop, but you're not going to overpay a backup to Randy Gregory, especially if Randy Gregory can be the guy in this new defensive scheme that we all thought he could be when he first became a member of the Cowboys.
Come on, defense. You don't got to be good. You just got to be average, which would be a massive step forward from what we saw last year. It's strange when you have such a low bar. Man, just slow them down. You don't even have to stop them. Just make it a little difficult.
Just get some turnovers.
Just a few. We're not asking for a lot. We're going to get 40 on the other side. We don't have to work too hard. The NCAA Women's Tournament continues here in San Antonio, and it's pretty awesome. National TV turning on. You see in St. Mary's Gym and Texas State's Gym. They're up in Austin. It looks pretty cool, but when you think about it, did it feel like the women's NCAA tournament when you didn't see the floor? Well, there's a lot of concern about what has been done and not done in comparison to the men's and women's tournaments. Nell Fortner, head coach out at Georgia Tech, Texas girl, went to New Braunfels and played great basketball up there in Austin. Had some thoughts, and I completely agree. But what is the fix? We'll look at the situation that the NCAA finds itself in. Yet another quagmire coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Nobody plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, or maybe you get a phone call from a friend or a family member that they were arrested, the best way to get out of jail fast is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans. They have a free shuttle service. Of course, they're open 24/7 to get you out fast. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services is nationwide. So if you're down in the Valley, in Corpus, up in Dallas, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
We get you ready for every single silver and black game on Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is DeJounte Murray.
Get the latest on the silver and black before every game.
It's Game Night San Antonio.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Mother's Window Tint sells Alpine car stereo. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is the nation's newest Alpine dealer. To celebrate, we're saving you money on everything we sell. Car stereos, speakers, subwoofers, amplifiers, car alarms, remote start alarms, ceramic window tint, GPS tracking, all on sale. You're gonna save. Stores in Austin and San Antonio since 1984. Mother's Window Tint. Sales, service, installation. Thousands of adapter kits in stock. Great low prices. Like us on Facebook and send us a message. Mother's Window Tint sells Alpine car stereo. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Hey, James, that order just doubled. We got to move fast here.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Somebody pick up that phone.
Like at Luca's Gourmet Frozen Pizza Company. To operate at scale, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Spring is on its way. Almost time to roll out the green carpet. Start planning now with innovative help from the Home Depot. Use our project calculators to figure how much grass seed you'll need, or just the right amount of mulch. Our online workshops and how-to videos will get you up to speed fast, from outdoor fire pits to planter projects. If you're ready to roll, so are we. Download our mobile app to get started. Bring on spring with help from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It is the Blitz. Here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Don't forget to upload your grilling pictures. Grilling with the Blitz tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. We'll give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. All you got to do is show us a picture of your meat, properly spiced and cooked, uploaded. Walk away with a $50 gift card. We'll talk about it tomorrow night at 6 o'clock for our weekly. Don Harris will be here in just about 15 minutes, by the way. We're going to talk Spurs and the rest of the San Antonio sports landscape with News Sports San Antonio's sports master, Don Harris.
And while we're talking about the chance to win that gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. It's not complicated, but Mr. S.A. Mariner on Twitter tweeted us some photos of some ribs he did, and he couldn't figure out how to do it. So when you go to ESPNSA.com, go to the Win tab, and then click on Tri-County Meat Market. It really isn't that complicated. But if you tweet it to us, that doesn't count. That doesn't get you in the running. But I do enjoy seeing the pictures. Yeah, but it's not hard to figure out how to get them uploaded onto the website to try to win under the Win tab.
Get it in, and you got till tomorrow. We normally decide during the day, but if something pops in before we go on and we agree upon it, you have until basically 6 o'clock tomorrow night. If you don't win then, maybe later. The NCAA Women's Tournament continues here, based in San Antonio, though it's fanning out around all of Central and South Texas. Games being played in San Marcos and Austin and all around San Antonio. And pretty cool to turn on the ESPN and see your local school's floor being used. But you know, Nell Fortner is the head basketball coach of Georgia Tech. She's in town, and she mentioned something that, you know, Jason, it really hadn't crossed my mind, but now that you mention it, it just kind of falls into the thread that I think Nell is talking about, that, you know, while it's cool to see the local alma mater's floor on there, it doesn't mean a whole lot to them that's playing on it, who earned their way into the NCAA championship tournament. You go to the guys' games, I don't care if it's the first game or the play-in game, they're playing on an NCAA tournament floor. And when you see the ladies play, not until they reach the Final Four will they even see that.
So if you've got to get to the Dome to get to the NCAA floor. Apparently they only brought one to San Antonio. With the men, they are everywhere. Now, I think it's cool to turn on, like last night, watching the game at UTSA and seeing the Roadrunners floor, the bird cage. But if you're from wherever, you don't know the school, nor do you care. It's not, it might help to a degree in recruiting, seeing the local floors, but it doesn't signify how big of an event it is. And Nell Fortner went to Twitter and said to the NCAA, thank you. Thank you for using the 3 biggest weeks of our organization's year to expose exactly how you feel about women's basketball. An afterthought. And she goes through the laundry list of disparities, some of which we've talked about, and she brings up the floor, which when I first saw it, I thought, well, I wonder if that was just a part of the deal. That, you know, all these local schools, except for when you watch the men, it's not the same for the men. They spent the money on the floors for the men. And I do think there is something to it to play on one of those NCAA floors. To, you know, when you show a picture and you keep the picture that you're going to have in your house forever of you playing in the NCAA tournament, and it's on some random floor at St. Mary's University in San Antonio, if you're not from around here, I do think that it is kind of a big deal, and the NCAA missed on that opportunity.
You know, it's not surprising that we're talking about it today. But it is something that needs to be an ongoing conversation. Today is Equal Pay Day. By the standards set by, I'm not sure, and I do believe it, that women earn on average 82% of what men make. And for a woman to make what a man made back last year, she would have had to work till today to equal pay. And as we talk about what's going on with the NCAA Women's Tournament, it's obvious that it is an afterthought. But how do we rectify it? Now, the obvious thing is, buy the floors. That's not hard. Make sure the swag bags are equal. Make for damn sure you will provide them with at least the kind of equipment they're accustomed to where they're from, but it better be better than that. This is a championship tournament. At the very least, you provide that. But is that enough? Because that's window dressing. That's the easy stuff. That's the one you go, you didn't do what? You don't even bring the floors in? Well, that's easy. Go hire a company. It costs you, take it out of petty cash. You're the NCAA. You're making billions across the street. Go get that done. But what's the ongoing answer? Because to raise the tide on one side, part of that's going to have to come down on the other. There's only so much money that can be spent through the NCAA. So
true.
What do we do? What is the answer?
The viewers, the revenue, all of the business side of it is certainly there. But when you factor in it's a tournament, they've got a nice TV contract. They could spend some money. There's a scathing article on the NCAA president, Mark Emmert, on Yahoo today by Pete Thamel, where he just blasts the TV contract that he signed because he signed such a long deal, didn't open it up for negotiations, never a free agent. And in TV terms, it's going to cost the NCAA $3.5 billion. They call it a $3.5 billion mistake made by NCAA President Mark Emmert for just re-upping the deal at such a small increase and not letting it bid out like what we just saw the NFL do. And it's a long contract. Over the next 10 years, it will cost the NCAA $3.5 billion. One of the many failures on his part, including, now that players are about to get paid. I don't know what the answer is when it comes to equality. I mean, when you look at the business side of things, the interest level in the women's game isn't the same as the men's game. We certainly understand that. But when you're having these big tournaments and you want them to feel big and you're going on national TV, you want to have the best look you can have for national TV. If we weren't in a pandemic year and everything was going to be like it normally is at all the different sites and the roads were leading to San Antonio, every one of those arenas where all these games are played would have their own floor, and some of the stuff that we have seen in San Antonio wouldn't have happened in all those other cities because the NCAA would have made sure of that. But the extra money of putting every team in one city for as long as they are, they just cut the budget. They didn't do that on the men's side. They did on the women's side.
And that's what in the end needs to be fixed, because it appears that when it's time to trim the edges and save some coin, they look to the ladies' side because, well, that's what they've always done. And it brought up today, and I don't think we'll see those window dressing things happen again. But it has to be that ongoing equality versus equity battle that is not going to end. Coming up, let's talk with Don Harris, the News 4 San Antonio. The trade deadline is tomorrow. What does Don think could happen? And we'll look around the NCAA tournament and the rest of the sports world with Don, one of the very best. Hang on, he's coming next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. The spring is here. The weather is getting better. And it's time to think about how you and your family are going to holiday and enjoy the coming warm months. I recommend heading over to Alamo Cycleplex. It's a one way you can ensure with motorsport toys and motorcycles like they have that you can control what you're doing. You can head out to the field. The outdoors is calling, and what a great way to enjoy it on motorsports. I've been driving around a Honda Talent R1000. This thing is ridiculously fun. It is a factor of 10 more exciting than I ever thought I would have. I'm having the best time. You want to test drive one of those things, head over to Alamo Cycleplex. They have a test track behind it. 7 motorsport brands in-house. If you're looking for it, they've got it. The service is extraordinary. The gear that they've got is great. If you're new, if you're a novice, if you're a pro and need more help, head over to Alamo Cycleplex. They're over on Days of Alla and I-10, just a little bit south of Days of Alla. It's easy to get to, and once you're in, man, what a beautiful facility. The people are great. The help is there. The crew put together. Dave Sears has got something going over at Alamo Cycleplex. Head over for bike nights on Thursdays at the end of the month. You've got great fun happening, but really start planning with your family how you can have some good times and keep complete control over it. The Slingshot is there, one of those cool little toys that I cannot wait to get out and drive. What I'm hanging around with, you got all the work stuff that you can possibly get and all the brands that you're after. Alamo Cycleplex, the key to fun is right there. Days of Alla and I-10. Head over to Alamo Cycleplex. Get yourself a new toy or a new bike, and boy, the summer's going to open up. Head over to Alamo Cycleplex today, and I'm sure you're going to thank me later.
Love the Saturday morning hangover? Well, watch along every Saturday morning from 9 to 11. You can watch the show live at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe.
Got chronic joint pain, not having success with steroids, but trying to avoid surgery? Well, thankfully, there's a better way, and it's now available in our area from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics, now here in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Hey, James Pledger here. I'm talking about new therapies, advanced, all-natural, regenerative cell treatments that not only give you relief, but speed up the process of healing and repair. Popular in Europe for years, now they're here. If you've got pain in your knees, shoulder, lower back, hips, or pain from arthritis, or even pain from an old injury, you need to learn more about these potent new regenerative solutions. Call now for a free consultation. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. These remarkable new treatments increase mobility, decrease pain, and restore tissue. They actually allow your body to heal itself. Call now. Regenerative medicine is here. Don't wait. Call today. QC Kinetics in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or divorcedude.com.
Going for a few days without water, then being told to boil your water when it came back on, that got a lot of people thinking, is my tap water safe? Hey, this is David Van Camp. Alamo Water Softeners can help you out. They've got top-of-the-line water softeners and filtration systems. They'll come out to your house for a free water analysis and explain what they can do for you. And Alamo Water Softeners is a 2020 neighborhood favorite on Nextdoor. Go to alamowatersofteners.com to schedule a free water analysis. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Indeed knows unexpected demand can stretch your business thin.
Leon speaking.
Like at Leon's Plumbing.
Sorry, quickest we can get there is next Friday.
To stay out of hot water, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
In 2003, it was rare for freshmen to carry a college basketball team. Never mind 2 of them. But for Syracuse, Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara did just that, all the way to a national championship. Anthony led the team in scoring and rebounds, while McNamara led the team in assists and was 3rd in scoring. In the national championship game against Kansas, Carmelo was the game's leading scorer with 20, and McNamara added 18.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
March is the biggest month in college basketball where teams across the country test their talent in the hopes of winning it all. For finding talent that can help your team win it all, there's LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. I'd like to welcome on the show News 4 San Antonio sports potentate in chief, Don Harris. Welcome aboard, Don. How's your day going?
Well, fellas, what's up?
Don, trade deadline. By this time tomorrow, we will know if the Spurs have done anything. Will we be talking about a major trade involving the Spurs?
Man, flip a coin. Flip a coin. I think, it looks to me like LaMarcus is going to be bought out, but there's some teams that are going to be vying for his services that one of them might panic and offer the Spurs something that they would take. They're not going to take anything that messes up their cap going forward or a bad contract coming back. So I think these teams are going to be more apt to gamble and then try to outbid one another. That once the Spurs made that agreement that they were going to go in mutually different directions, that I'm sure LaMarcus's agent has had backdoor conversations with Miami and Brooklyn and some others that have shown some interest. I'm even hearing Lakers Clippers. So, who knows? Miami seems to be the one that's most interested. I don't know if the Trevor Ariza deal made them less interested. If I was a betting man, I'd say no, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if LaMarcus was in a deal, if DeMar was in a deal, if Trey Lyles was in a deal of some sort, because I just don't know. I have no clue what they're going to do with DeRozan long term as well. It looks like he's a Spur now, and it looks like they want him, but I don't know how much money they're going to invest in him, and they may want to get something back in return. I just don't know. There's no good read.
It's a stalemate with DeMar. I mean, no decision made and no trade. Is that a loss for the Spurs at the end of the day? Because it does feel like a Spur. Or are they just going to bank on the money available in the free agent market and try to retool with some, traveled vets with these young guys?
It was so weird. It was like a year ago where that extension date came and went, and nobody in Spurs Nation thought they should give him an extension or wanted him to. But everything changed in the bubble and going into this year. And the way that he has played, the way that he has mentored, the way that he has led, I think has changed the Spurs' mind on him. At the same time, they've got a stable full of young, affordable talent that basically play the same position. I mean, they got 4 or 5 guys now that are young, athletic wings. And so do they want to wrap in $140 million or something into an aging vet? I don't know. I think they love him. They'd love to keep him. I think that they're just going to hang on to him and then take their chances in the free agent market with his loyalty versus, and maybe going so far as to match whatever is out there in the market to a certain point. I think maybe they're going to bet that they could get close enough to whatever's going to be out there for him to make him choose them in the summertime. But I'm hearing also that he wants to go back to the Eastern Conference. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. He seems to be doing all the right things here. I think he and Pop have a great relationship. And I know that some of the young guys have really, befriended him, and I think he feels much more apart than he did a year and a half ago.
100% agree. Don Harris from News 4 with us here on ESPN San Antonio. And I'm in the boat that if DeMar isn't going to be here long term, then you try to trade him by tomorrow and get something in return. Don't let him walk and not get anything. If you get into that free agent battle that you just described, how much, I mean, he hasn't been to the NBA Finals. If he wants a ring, he's not coming back here as a free agent because there's not a ring in the immediate future for the San Antonio Spurs. So if it's close in dollars with a championship type team, you lose them, and then you lose them and get nothing in return. What's the priority for the Spurs? Is it get something for DeMar DeRozan, or appreciate everything you did while you were here, appreciate it, but you're gone and we get nothing back?
I mean, right? Like in most years, you think they've got to move him by tomorrow. You can't let him walk and not get anything in return. And he's got a lot of value. Unlike LaMarcus, he's got a lot of value. Teams are going to want him. At the same time, are they sellers right now? Because they're in the 7th spot, but like 4 games out of 4th. And these guys believe that, they're not a championship team, but they believe they can make a serious run. And if you talk to DeMar, he wants to go to the playoffs this year with the Spurs. And so it's not like they've tanked and they're in a position where they're not going to make the playoffs. So that's why I said flip a coin. It is the hardest read that I've seen here in years. Usually I can say there's no way, they're not going to do anything. They're going to stand pat, which is what they mostly do, or they got to make a move. And a year ago, I would have told you they're going to make a move with DeMar DeRozan by the deadline. Logic seems to say they should. But at the same time, they're a different squad. They're a contender. He's a part of the program. And maybe, just maybe, they're thinking that they can extend him now and he can be a Spur long term. I don't think it makes sense market-wise because I think somebody's going to overpay for him more than they're going to want to pay. But who knows? At least it'll be answered by 2:00 tomorrow.
at least, as we eagerly await the Woj bomb that we hope will explode in our direction. He's Don Harris, the News for San Antonio, joining us as we're looking at the Spurs and the trade deadline. You know, you brought up something I think is really important. You know, the many guys that are interchangeable. I mean, there's 5 guys that can play 3 or even 4 positions given the team that they might be playing against. And one of that is point guard. We've got 3 guys that run the point at any given time during the game. You got DeMar playing a fair amount in the lead. You see DeJounte doing it. You see Derek White now that he's back in the fold. Is a decision going to need to be made as to who is going to be the true point guard of the San Antonio Spurs, and the other guy needs to either decide to take that other position, that backup or whatever you might want to call it, or move on? Would that play into what the Spurs might be looking at right now?
No, I think the Spurs have made up their mind. I think DeJounte Murray is your point guard of the future for sure, and I think he's a potential all-star. And I think D. White's going to play the 2, and he's going to be a potential Olympian. He was, last time out, and he's growing into that position. He's had some injury problems and some COVID issues this year. And I think Keldon Johnson may be the best of the 3 long term. I mean, Keldon Johnson's doing something that nobody's done since Tim Duncan, with a guy that averaged 20 and 7 in this many games into his career. He's way better than Kawhi Leonard was in year 2. I don't know if he'll continue on that path, on that improvement path, but Keldon has all the makings to be an all-star. And so I think those 3 guys are your core going forward. Walker's played good enough lately that I think you can consider, re-signing him to an extension when his time's up. Those guys too. Devin Vassell has all the makings of being a really good player. I don't know if you could be able to keep all these guys long-term. Right. But the point guard is DeJounte Murray for sure, and they're going to invest in him and groom him to be the guy.
Don, you mentioned, exactly. You mentioned Keldon, and in my mind, he's the only untouchable on this roster right now. And if the right offer is there, maybe the Spurs even, would consider an offer there. But you look at all the guys that we just talked about, except Keldon Johnson. I think all of them could be available in some sort of trade package if it betters the Spurs long term. And sometimes I look at the Spurs and think they do right by the player too much and not necessarily right by the organization. This is the year they need to do right by the organization first, right?
Yeah, it depends on the package. Like if there was a really good package out there that, you were going to get some really nice pieces for DeMar and then you had to throw in Lonnie Walker, for instance, I think they would do that. I think they would be real hesitant on White because they just locked him up and got a good deal. They locked up Jakob and got a good deal. So I think they would be hesitant on those guys. DeJounte the same way, but I think they're not untouchable by any means. But it better be a really good package that you think you can get the same kind of value for the money. Because the one thing the Spurs have always done is they've gotten guys to take reasonable deals, not discounts, but also not stupid, over the top, crazy, we shouldn't have done that deals. And you look at what they got Jakob for, you look at what they got Thiago for back in the day. They've got, Tim Duncan was so generous with his money given back so they could be competitive. And, so I think you're right. I think Keldon's the only one that's untouchable, although I think they may view DeJounte as that way too. And to a lesser extent, maybe Derek White, but I think those 3 guys are their core.
Don Harris joining us here on ESPN San Antonio as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. We didn't talk a lot about Rudy Gay, but it seems like his name had been mentioned by other teams in the search. Can you see a scenario where Rudy is the lone guy moved?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rudy's in that group with Trey Lyles and LaMarcus as being throw-ins in a package. If somebody really liked them, they would move on from them. And I hate to say this, but I think Patty Mills might be in that category too. I think I made a case that Patty may be eligible to have his jersey retired here. He's been that kind of pro for the Spurs, but I'd hate to see him go out that way. But I think it's possible depending on what teams want, if they want to want him. But Rudy seems to be, at least on a couple of teams, seem to have wanted Rudy. Miami wanted him before they did the Ariza deal, so that may be dead now, and Rudy may be here. I thought it was a little questionable today when they made him ineligible for tonight's game with a foot injury. I found that to be a little curious this close to the deadline.
Well,
but then I looked at the video, and he did step on that guy's toe and turn his ankle a bit. So I don't know. You can't guess.
Well,
and,
I mean, you got Lonnie and Rudy on the injury report tonight, and then you've got they moved. Well, I don't know if they moved it up, but it's bobblehead night for Rudy Gay the day before the deadline, just in case they don't want those things in the back warehouse.
The bobblehead value goes way up if he's moved tomorrow.
Truth,
yeah,
it will be
you get your bobblehead tonight. It's a collector's item tomorrow.
Yeah, but they couldn't do it for the game next week if he isn't on the team, So it's like you got to give him away before the deadline just in case.
You guys are conspiracy theorists, but I love it. You never know.
There's black helicopters all over this town.
It's landing outside right now. Before we let you go, and I know we're up against it, the women's tournament in town, certainly the game spectacular is going to wind to a fantastic finish there in the Dome on a court that signifies they're playing in the NCAA tournament. All the negative things that have come out from how the NCAA has handled and dealt with the women's tournament funding and all that. What's the reflection on San Antonio? Is any of that rubbing off on us?
No, none. And the reason why is Lynn Holtzman went out quickly and said that San Antonio had nothing to do with it. In the NCAA and both the men's and the women's committees have been here so many times. They realize what Jenny Carnes and the local organizing committee is capable of and what they do. And I think the messaging had to be clear, and I think that's why Lynn came out quickly. And I think, to tell you the truth, I think the local organizing committee may have pushed her a little bit to say, look, you got to go on camera and say it wasn't us. But it wasn't San Antonio. This is something that is planned for and budgeted by the NCAA, and San Antonio just carries out the marching orders. And guess what? When they got there, in a sling, guess who delivered the equipment from the YMCA and from other vendors who had weight room equipment and did it quickly and professionally? San Antonio. And Jenny's team got their stuff together quickly and kind of saved that deal in a couple of days. Didn't lessen the PR hit that the NCAA took. But again, it was San Antonio bailing out the NCAA for their missteps. So, I don't think it'll be a reflection in San Antonio long term. We got the men coming in 2025. I think they learned. Look at the weather we're having too, right? I mean, it's like I tell our weather guy, hey man, I can tell you what the weather's going to be for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be sunny and beautiful because every time we have a Final Four here, it's sunny and beautiful. Kelvin Sampson told me years ago, he said, dude, we should have it here every single year. And there are people in the basketball community that would love it if it was here every single year for the men or the women. And so I think we're going to be fine coming out of it.
Especially the way we pulled their stuff out of the fire. We get them again in 2025. Yeah. Don Harris, thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate the knowledge.
Always love you guys having me. Thanks, man.
Don Harris, the News for San Antonio, right here on ESPN San Antonio. Where else are you going to get that? That's restaurant quality radio right there. Coming back, the Washington football team might maintain that name, and also Snyder is a full-on control freak and has got all the Redskins. We'll tell you what all that means coming up next. I said Redskins. I said it. Yeah, coming back here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The smart home technology at my house from BSG is incredible. My sprinkler system's automatic. I can open my garage door with the phone, my door locks, my lights, everything, outdoor lights, the speaker systems. It's incredible. And one of the things that BSG has that I bet you a lot of you wish you would have had when we had that winter storm, and that is a water valve controller that goes on your main water line. If you have a water leak, it will detect it and turn off your water. Then you get a notification on your phone. It's incredible. The smart valve will shut down leaks before they can turn into floods. A lot of you dealt with that over the winter storm, and if you didn't, you certainly know somebody who did have a pipe break and flood their house. BSG could have prevented thousands of dollars worth of damage with that smart valve controller. It allows you to stay ahead of water waste and high bills. You can monitor your water usage and pipes right from your phone. Talk about smart home technology from a company you can trust and the peace of mind your home is protected. You're not going to come home from work or come home from vacation to a flooded house because a pipe broke and it was leaking for hours. It will shut it off before it can turn into a flood. BSG of Texas, making smart home automation simple. Call 210-877-1222, 877-1222, or learn more online, bsgtexas.com/radio. That's bsgtexas.com/radio.
It's time for ESPN San Antonio's Big Score. This hour's keyword is culebra. Enter that keyword at espnsa.com for your chance to win $1,000. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 towards the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. At the shops at La Cantera across from Nordstrom, San Antonio's direct diamond importer.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course, we have everything you need to take on that oil change. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic Motor Oil and an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $32.99. Plus, AutoZone Rewards members get a $5 bonus reward. Not a member? Don't worry. Joining is easy, and you can even earn an extra $5 bonus reward at sign up. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions apply. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's the Blitz. Welcome aboard ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Bennix. I'm Rob Thompson. I want to thank Don Harris of News 4 San Antonio for stopping by. Joining us, his insight as always. And I think he's as plugged in as anybody, and no one knows. Popovich is going through his pregame right now. In the pregame, he said, every year is different. It depends on the makeup of the team. And, he candid. He said that last year. He said it the year before. He said it the year before. And he's saying it again now. But now more than ever, he just feels intriguing that there's things that can be done. There are pieces that you can play with. We don't normally have good, fun pieces to offer and play with that would improve teams, that would help us short and long term. I just get the feeling nothing's going to happen, though.
Well, I mean, He says historically they don't do trades at the deadline, and that is true. He did not say that they're going to work and there's a game tonight and they're not taking any calls. He didn't say they weren't going to do anything. He didn't say they were. He just historically they don't. Then recalled when they traded for Nazir Muhammad and won a title. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I'd forgotten about the deal for Nazir. I still got his jacket from that year. It's kind of big on me.
Yeah, I was going to say, but yeah, I mean, I as we get closer to it, I'm kind of thinking there's got to be something. There's something. That dude is in town today. That dude has the Spurs in this mess right now. They've got to fix it, and it's going to stare pop in the face all night long.
Mellow Mush, who brings you Game Night San Antonio coming up at 6:30. We'll get you ready for the Spurs and Clippers as Kawhi comes here for tonight's a Figa Baba, and then tomorrow will be the Sega Baba. And in the meantime, will be a trade. We'll make sure we address all that before we head off to break. In the NFC East, Dan Snyder has been, I'm not sure what kind of owner he is. I know that Washington Redskin, there we go, dollar in the bucket. Washington football team fan has desperate and ongoing allegiance. Those ticket sales have dipped over the last couple of years. Seeing that stadium empty has been weird. Well, there's been an ongoing dispute amongst he who owned about 60% of the Washington football team and the minority ownership over the last several years. Well, it seems to have been reached, an agreement being reached where Dan's just buying everybody out. You're going to take a loan out for some $450 million, going to buy everybody out and take complete control over the Washington football team. This is a football team that has been embroiled in sexual harassment issues for a while. The name problem finally was fixed, but it's still not really fixed. And the NFL is now stuck with a guy who was made public today that several years back had to pay a $1.6 million payout for a sexual harassment issue that wasn't even part of the issue that we're dealing with now.
What I find interesting, I'm not surprised that Dan Snyder is going to try to buy everybody out and take full control. What surprises me is the NFL is going to let him do it. It wasn't that long ago where it felt like the NFL was going to force him to sell the franchise. And maybe
it'd be easier.
Once he owns 100%. Yeah, go ahead and do that. That $450 million debt waiver, I don't even know. That's financial terms I don't understand, but it's a whole lot of money. And maybe once he has all of it, it's easier to take it away and sell it to somebody else who maybe they didn't want to do business with the minority owner. I don't know. It just seems like an odd turn in the story that I didn't expect, that he was going to buy everybody out and want to keep the name football team, because maybe the new buyer wants to come in and name it himself when it finally does get sold. It's like when you're buying a house, in the new, do you want these cabinets or do you want to pick your own? It just is a weird twist to the story I did not expect to see today.
Well, you brought up something I don't think a lot of people have heard, that over the last couple of days, they have floated the possibility of just remaining the Washington football team so as not to take on a new name and keep that former name in, kind of lore. We look back fondly and we loved it so much we never gave another one. You've got Snyder who's got his issues. It is a very European thing to name it the football team or the club. It doesn't feel right for the NFL. It doesn't feel like you'd be able to market it very well. It doesn't feel like you'd have the sundry kind of things that you use to market with the logo and the mascot and all the other stuff. You just got a bunch of words. You just got Washington football team.
But if you take the WFT and flip those around a little bit, their marketing is right there for you.
Well, the thing is, I feel like it's not my decision what you want to name your team. It's like me telling you, that's a dumb name for your kid. I know you just want to name him Kid. You just want to name him Child One. But, you probably want to give him a nickname and a logo kind of thing. But that's your kid. That's why when I talk about the Washington football team, I feel strange because I'm never going to be a fan. I don't give a damn what you call yourself. I still hate you. So pick whatever you want. But I just don't. I don't think the rest of the NFL, especially the marketing types, see this and go, "This isn't very good. This isn't what we need. We need something that you can grasp above and beyond the words of Washington football team, a true mascot and logo."
But you buy out your owners, then we take the team away from you. New owners, new name, everything is anew.
Just one lottery ticket away, baby. Coming back, we're joined by our lottery pick for best chef in the state of Texas. That's right. We are doing some cooking with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Tim will be with us next. Tim Byers, the beer winning chef. We're going to have some fun. Go get your device, crack a beer, and let's learn to cook with one of the very best. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. You know, Twin Peaks is open and waiting on you right now. Happy hour is in full effect. And when you're thinking Twin Peaks, they are so much more than what you might remember. Now, certainly they are the place to hang with people of like mind. Wherever you sit down, you know you're going to be in a man cave and be surrounded by scenic views, which would mean not only you got screens in front of you, but you've got help all around you, and you've got fine food coming from the kitchen. 29-degree draft beer coming to you. And don't forget, that's probably local and all the finest bourbons that you seek. Those small batch, they've got it. Twin Peaks understands the value of a great bourbon served the right way. Those perfectly iced balls covered with just the right amount of a small batch bourbon. Sitting watching the games going on. The Sweet 16's happening all weekend. UFC fights to be there as well. But right now it's happy hour and all week long. 5 to 7, the specials are in play. You head over to Twin Peaks for the great specials. You head over to Twin Peaks for food that is made scratch and for you. We all loved all of that, but why do we go? Well, it's easy to see. Those scenic views.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain, pain associated with arthritis, or even an old injury? Well, listen carefully, because there are new breakthrough treatments now available here. Not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative cell therapies from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Hey, it's James Pledger. These revolutionary treatments not only alleviate your pain, they speed up the healing process. We're talking regenerative cell and platelet-rich plasma therapies, all new solutions that really work. If you've got pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, lower back, you may be able to avoid invasive surgery with these proven non-surgical options with astonishing patient satisfaction reports. Call now. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics. If you've got chronic pain and you want to avoid surgery and steroids, call QC Kinetics in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Call now, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 571-0318.
911, what's your emergency?
This car, an SUV, it was going across, it went around the barrier and the train. Oh God.
Ma'am, did a train hit an SUV? Is that what happened?
Yes, the train is still going. The train is going, and the car, I can't believe it.
You can't judge the speed of an approaching train. That's why the signals are there. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke, and I have a question for you. Do you ever consider just how important your feet are? They're quite literally the foundation of your body, and if you don't take care of them, you're asking for problems. That's why I wear Skechers' new Arch Fit shoes. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to make a shoe that provides total foot and arch support. They used 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch, no matter what foot type you have. Plus, Skechers Arch Fit provides extreme comfort. In fact, these just might be the most comfortable Skechers I've ever worn. Whether I'm walking or standing, they feel like a dream. Just try them on and you'll feel the instant difference. So if foot care is as important to you as it is to me, check out Skechers Arch Fit. They're podiatrist certified, they're comfortable, and they look great. Because when it comes to preserving my body, I know Skechers has my back and my feet. Get the support you need with Skechers' new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
From the Mother's Window Tint Studios, online at motherswindowtint.com. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, if you're near a device, I want you to go to ESPNSA.com or head over to our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page. Watch our live broadcast, because when you look in on it, you're going to see me up on the right-hand corner. You're going to see Jason Minix hiding behind some bags of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Seen James Pledger, Natalie attired on the top left-hand side. And for those of you who haven't done this before, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you're looking at a James Beard Award-winning chef. That's Tim Byers joining us. It's time to cook and do some fun stuff with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Tim, welcome aboard, man. Glad to have you. What are we going to do today?
Well, great to be here, guys. We're going to do some pork rind and mango summer rolls with a sweet and sour dipping sauce.
Now, Tim, first of all, that sounds kind of in-depth and above my pay grade. and secondly, what exactly is radicchio?
Okay, radicchio is like a red leaf cabbage that, it's a little bit bitter. You see it in sort of Italian cooking sometimes. You see it in the grocery store. It's like in the salad mix, the red pieces.
Okay, I'm with it.
So,
well, let's do some cooking.
Sure, yeah, okay. So this particular plate that we made here, this was really meant to be like a really fun summer thing. I know when you're trying to do the keto deal and you're trying to do like the low fat, better for you thing, and pork rinds are a great option for that. And this one particular dish, I think is really cool because it really feels as if it was supposed to be there from the beginning. So I take a rice paper, those round, really thin rice paper.
Mm-hmm.
With this, you're going to want to soak it in a little bit of water. I'll take like a pie tin or a plate and just get it in the water till it's a little pliable, sort of it's a feel thing, and take that to a damp towel and just pat it dry. And then I have all the stuff in the recipe. We've got some julienne mango, some jalapeno, a little bit of that radicchio Rob was talking about, fresh mint and basil. And then what I'll do is I'll take one of the small batch pork rinds, and their curry one is great for this because it's kind of like a Thai curry. Add a little bit of honey and some sesame seeds to that, so you get this like sticky honey pork rindy kind of sesame thing. And then I just load it into this rice paper roll. So you'll want to put either the radicchio or the herb leaves down, and then mango and jalapeno, and then add the pork rind to the center, and then a little bit more leafy herby stuff, and just start to roll it up, wrap the sides like you would a burrito, and then just roll this thing tight, and you have this fully encased sort of like Asian salad in a handheld. And when you cut it in half, it's like this awesome salad. The pork rind is this like killer crunch, and then I have a really easy, sweet and sour citrus dipping sauce for this, and I try to make this one as easy as possible, and reach for any sort of citrus jam you could find at the store. Like I chose a pineapple one for this, and so that just gets some lime juice, some thin sliced scallions or green onions, a little bit of red pepper flake, some ginger and garlic, a little bit of water to thin it out, and some salt, and that's it. You just take your pork rind summer roll, dip it into that hot and that sweet and sour sauce, and you're good to go.
And you get that good crunch that you're getting out of the pork rind. And again, if you're going on the keto diet, trying to find interesting things to eat, which, you don't want everything to be bland and you don't get the tortilla, but, with this wrap, you kind of get the sensation. We're in South Texas. It's almost like a taco. It's close. You can convince yourself.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is it adds a little bit of like, variety, like, you know what I'm saying? So like if you're just grilling out and you want to have something on the light side, I mean, you could be doing your ribs, you could be doing your brisket, that sort of thing, and you have this platter, something super fresh and light. It's just a good way to kind of add a little bit of mix to the backyard thing if you're having friends over and you're just trying to do the low carb, high flavor thing.
Low carb, high flavor. You can't say it better than that. Jason just brought it up. We're accustomed to kind of, you've taught us how to repurpose these pork rinds in a lot of different ways, but in this way, we're using it for texture, and also it's bringing that the tang that Southern Recipe has with the curry. It really is going to add to the flavor. What a light and fresh and easy way to make something to go along with it, and with all the different acids and sweets that you've got, it will cut the fat of some of the meat that you might be using.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And it's interesting.
It's different and fun.
Well, and what I find interesting, all these recipes, and generally we do these segments with Mark Singleton at Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Yeah.
He wants everything to be mark proof, and and like his level of cooking is way above mine. When I first saw this, I was like, oh my, this is going to be difficult, but in reality, pretty easy to put together.
Yeah, it's not bad. Your first one or two, it might feel a little bit sloppy, but you get it down pretty quick. And it's with any of this stuff. I mean, anything I cook, I always tell people, take it easy on yourself, have some fun, don't be too serious. And, all of these small batch pork rind recipes, this is meant to just have fun with friends and, have a great time.
Sweet 16 around the corner. You're going to be hosting a party. What a great way to get the day going with these great rolls. If you're looking for the recipe itself, it's porkrindrecipes.com. You can find it there. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. You know where to go when you head over to HEB. Grab the very best. This is that small batch made the way you want. Healthy and delicious all the way. Try all the different brands. Now, I want to talk to you real quick because we do have a Beard Award-winning chef, a man who knows his way around a fire. I am a recent Traeger owner. I got a brand new Traeger and I'm loving it. It adds flavor to the likes of which I've never been able to go. But I want to add a crisp, a layer. I'm reverse searing, but I can't quite get my grill hot enough to sear it off. Do you have any pointers for those of us that are trying a new Traeger and trying to get that crispy crunch? Not so much a crunch, but you know what I'm talking about, that seared in flavor on a steak.
Well, I hear you. I need to get myself a Traeger and troubleshoot all these things.
Well,
but
we get them to keep up with you, man.
Yeah.
Everybody I know who has one loves them. And, I would say right off the bat, I'd put maybe a cast iron in there and just get that thing ripping hot and as hot as you can get it. And then you just put your steak down, sear, and then put it on the Traeger and plug it and go. The cast iron stuff is great because it's inexpensive. You could beat it up, and it'll get hotter than anything, and that's what will get a good sear on that steak.
I've seen him cook. He's not kidding. He shows up with a variety of cast iron kettles and pans, and they're all over
there
the
you
fire.
go. Yeah.
When you watch a master like Tim Byers, Beard Award-winning chef, there's so many pointers, and you guys are so lucky to get these kind of recipes that are not only healthy, they're easy to make, and they got all the ingredients that are available over to you at HEB, and of course, the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds add such a great flavor and add to it. Hey, Tim, thanks for stopping by. Now I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah, man. Always a pleasure.
Hour. We're glad to have you. Go out to HEB, grab your Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Head over to porkrindrecipes.com for a list of all those great Tim Byers recipes. We'll do it again next week. One of those are great recipes, keto friendly and healthy all the way through. Good to see you, Tim. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Jason.
See you.
Coming back, let's look at the Dallas Cowboys. Aldon Smith fans. Doesn't look like he's coming back, but the Cowboys are focusing on the defensive backside of the field, and we're not accustomed to that. Let's look at what the Cowboys are doing. Then Evan Klosky will join us for Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We're playing the Clippers in Baltimore tonight. Let's talk about it then. Hold on tight. Let's talk Cowboys next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Tonight, I am looking at this wonderful meal that I want to make, and it fits right in with what I do and the lifestyle that I learned at the Institute for Functional Health. I met Dr. Torres out at the IFH a little over a year and a half ago. Walked in the door, nearly 300 pounds. Didn't really feel all that great, but I didn't feel bad. But when I found out the numbers that I was carrying and the road that I was walking, it was time to make an adjustment. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to diet. That's not something in my lexicon, but I knew I could change my life and I needed some help. That's what Dr. Torres does. The Institute for Functional Health is focused on your health, your functional health. How are you feeling? Can we get you off all those medications by affecting your exercise, by affecting your diet? And that's what he does. He puts together programs specifically and only for you. Your biology comes into play. You have the mentorship, you have the coaching, and you have medical professionals behind you as you begin this weight loss journey. I began the journey, and before you know it, down 40 pounds, waist size smaller, and everything that goes along with it. But what you don't think about is how well and how different you will feel. That brain fog, it's gone. I get a good night's sleep when I get up. My joints, my knees, and my elbows, and all those things that ached for so long, they don't bother me anymore because I dropped the weight. The strain isn't there. I so want that for you. If you are not feeling good about yourself, if there's somebody around that is obese that needs to lose some weight, do it in a medically controlled way with medical professionals guiding you through the steps. I want you to call Dr. Torres and meet with him. It's easy, 210-468-1891. You can schedule an appointment free of charge, of course. You can go down there. He'll talk to you via whatever method you want. They're following all the protocols. Very safe down there. Never had an issue with that at all. Or you can go check the website, iffhealth.com. Take that functional health test. It'll open your eyes a little bit. Dr. Torres and those great staff. I'll tell you what, I've never met a group of people so eager to get you feeling better. It'll start with what you're doing. It's not the easiest thing I've ever done, but it's absolutely the best. So I want you to call the IFH today, the Institute for Functional Health, and I am sure you'll thank me later.
Hoops and Hype, the post-up with Brendan Medina and Jack Thompson, a basketball anthology. The culture from the court to kicks for the discerning fan. The post-up, Fridays at 7 after the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Guys, you know what's so great about Blue Chew? Everything. You get the same active ingredients as in Viagra and Cialis, but at a fraction of the cost. Prescriptions are filled online with no embarrassing trips to the doctor or the pharmacy. And Blue Chew's tablets are chewable, making it easy to be ready. Visit BlueChew.com for details and safety information. Use the promo code BETTER and receive the first month of your active plan free. That's BlueChew.com, promo code BETTER.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLS Consumer Access.org number 33.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pureline Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pureline Nutrition.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough, but you might be making it harder on yourself than necessary. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. It's time to upgrade to NetSuite. Stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need, all in one place instantly. Whether you're doing $1 million or hundreds of millions in revenue, save time and money with NetSuite. Join the over 24,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/radar. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
It's the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Mannix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger taking us to the top of the hour there at 7 o'clock. And Evan Klosky will join us for Mellow Mushrooms Game Night San Antonio. We'll get ready for the Clippers tonight. They're rumbling and stumbling, so have the Spurs. We'll see if they can get a win in the Figababa. But before we do, let's talk some Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have entertained a variety of safeties and defensive backs over the last couple of days. No real move today, although some came and went. Though we did hear that Aldon Smith will probably not be returning. We thought, 5 sacks. He seemed like the comeback was maybe not complete, but was certainly very effective and on its way to being one of the better stories to come out of the NFL. The guy hadn't played in 5 years, came back and was successful. But it turns out, according to Mike Fisher, that this story was actually over some time ago.
Although it's interesting because when you think back to the end of the year when Jerry Jones talked about Aldon Smith being an inspiration and to see him make the comeback that he did. And in Jerry's words, quote, "We want him to build on it to the benefit of the Cowboys," led to all the speculation that everything went well and would come back. Mike Fisher, plugged in Cowboy Insider with SI and 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, actually is reporting that some of those issues actually started around Thanksgiving weekend, and his issues right now, those that love him the most aren't concerned with him re-upping with the Cowboys or playing on any other NFL team. It's about dealing with issues that kept him out of football for half a decade. Don't know any of the particulars, not going to speculate on what the particulars are, but if there's people more concerned about his well-being than his football life, then, as a guy that got sidetracked from his NFL career, we know how those demons are. In fact, I was watching Real Sports earlier today, the new one that just showed up on my DVR this week. So I guess it must have recorded last night. And they have a feature story on Jason Williams. Remember, big-time NBA guy out of St. John's and with the New Jersey Nets, $90 million contract, horrific upbringing with three sisters that had passed, two of age, one was murdered. And his issues, and he talked about it, it wasn't the cocaine, it was the alcohol. Remember, he killed his limo driver. He's got a rehab center down in Florida now where they do advent. It's an incredible story, but he didn't talk. He's 5 years clean, but he has to stay busy every waking moment, or he's worried that he's going to get sidetracked. And if he doesn't go home and go right to bed, he says his thoughts will lead him places he doesn't want to revisit. And he used the term, Soledad O'Brien was doing the feature. I believe it was Soledad. And she said, or maybe it was Mary, whoever, but she's like, "So do you still feel like you're living day to day?" They said, "I live breath to breath." And, and you read this about Aldon Smith, and you realize those demons, no matter how good you think you're doing, those demons can come and get you at any moment.
We did see the Cowboys signed an edge rusher. We weren't sure if that was for replacement or backing up of Aldon Smith. We hope everything is going well for him, but it does appear that run with the Cowboys is done. Unfortunate, but maybe this will be a springboard. He can keep himself on the straight and narrow and play back in the game, because obviously the talent is still there.
Well, and
but
again,
there were some issues inside the locker room as well that might have played a role in this too.
Well, and again, he was a Mike McCarthy project, and we all know the story of how he ended up with the Cowboys and McCarthy and Jay Glazer, but also the emergence of Randy Gregory relegated Aldon Smith to the backup role. The majority of those snaps are going to go to Randy Gregory. So I think all the things that we speculated leading up to the news that we learned today about some off-field concerns, I think we're true on the football field as well. It's almost like when Robert Quinn left. Robert Quinn was good for the Cowboys, but what he signed for with the Bears, the Cowboys weren't going to pay that money. I thought that Aldon Smith earned his way into earning a pretty decent paycheck somewhere, and that probably wouldn't be with Dallas with a limited cap and in a backup role. You're not going to get starter money and play backup, and here's a guy that was out of football 5 years. He wants to get starter money and recoup the bank account. And I think all that's fair if he can get his personal life together. He proved he can still play football. Can he manage his life is the bigger question.
Yeah, and if you couldn't manage it with the Dallas Cowboys, who are accustomed to dealing with guys that are trying to get themselves back, you wonder if other teams are willing to make that gamble. 5 sacks is probably worth it. Probably worth it. We'll continue talking Cowboys throughout the day. Don't forget that we're doing Game Night San Antonio, Spurs and Clippers. Just a couple of minutes, Evan Klosky will join us, and maybe his farewell appearance as we got some exciting news I'm sure he'll want to share with us when he jumps on. The Cowboys entertained a couple of safeties, defensive backs over the last couple of days. No imminent contract, which is or at least offers, it seems, which I think a lot of people were surprised because by the Twitter feed, looked like the visits were going well and contracts were imminent, though nothing happened as everybody went their separate ways today.
Yeah, you bring in 3 safeties, and and then the visit's over, and Malik Hooker's all over Twitter about, man, this was awesome, but you didn't get a contract. And then you see reports saying, well, nothing imminent. That's not really how the NFL works. You come in for a visit, and typically you sign a deal. I mean, they've done due diligence, to read. Well, now they got to look at fit and medical. Well, don't you do that before you set up the plane trip? I mean, don't. Isn't that some of the preliminary stuff? This isn't like the draft where you're bringing in rookies to learn about them for the draft. I mean, these are free agents. They're going from team to team to see who's going to offer the best deal. Little surprised if you brought in 3 that you didn't sign 1.
At least not yet. Though, we do see the Cowboys are looking, at least in the draft, to address that safety position. You brought up the TCU. I forget his name. The kid that really he has really kind of skyrocketed lately, and he has been kind of certainly attached to the Cowboys, though I don't know where they would draft him. They're drafted too high for him in the first, and he'll probably be gone by the time they come back around. They have some compensatory picks. Do you think it might be due diligence, just like, as you said, let's check out what's available on the free agent market. Let's see how the draft shakes out. If these guys are gone, well, at least we know what we're judging against and what they were asking. And if we can't fill it in the draft, well, there'll be some guys still available afterwards. It sounded like the Cowboys might be emphasizing, but really not as much as we had hoped, the back end of that defense.
I really hope they're not just entertaining Dan Quinn with, Dan, we know you really like a safety. Let's bring a bunch of them in. We're not going to buy one, but we'll bring them all in for you, and it's hard to speculate because it's not a position they've seemed to focus on in years past. But you look at Quinn always has had a really good safety. He knows these guys. Hooker would be a great signing, but I see all these 1-year deals getting signed. You wonder if maybe there was an idea that they all wanted more, or a 1-year deal on the table, but that these guys want more, or whatever it is. Because you go back to trying to get one in the draft. Travion Morig in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft is picked to go number 25 to Jacksonville. I could see the Cowboys trading out of 10 down to somewhere in that 20 to 25
draft
range
if
they want a safety. But that's not their MO.
No, not at all.
And even then, as good as Donovan Wilson played last year, I don't know that I want a rookie safety that I've got to rely on. I still want that veteran leadership in the background that a Malik Hooker would offer, that a Casey who played with Quinn or for Quinn in Atlanta would offer. But safety in the first round, I'm with you. Safety, corner, I still want a big old left tackle.
Let's hope that the draft is just a month or so away. What's the draft date? We've got they're going to have crowds. We're going to have people there in Cleveland. It's almost there. I wonder who the Cowboys.
It is last week, April, first part of May.
There we go. We're just about a month away. Coming back, let's talk to San Antonio Spurs, the number 3 team in the West. The Clippers are in town. They sit at 28-16. They've won 2 in a row, but they're just like the rest of the NBA. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're no better than the San Antonio Spurs. Oh, well, they are a little bit. Spurs coming in 22-18 and number 7th. They have lost 2, 1 in a weird way. But they also sit at 5-5. Let's look at the Spurs prospects tonight as the Clippers are in town for a Figababa and then a Segababa, and Evan Klosky will join us to talk about them both. Game Night San Antonio brought to you by Mellow Mushroom comes up next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes, your home, your office, wherever you are. If your brakes are bad or going bad, go to nubrakes.com. Schedule your repair, and New Brakes will come to your place and fix your brakes. They provide convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes. You won't get the upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Most repairs are done in less than an hour, and New Brakes uses premium brake parts. They back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. If your brakes are squeaky or grinding, go to nubrakes.com. Schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. at newbrakes.com. Busy at work or just relaxing at the house, you continue to do what you do while New Brakes takes care of your brakes. They're great at what they do. Go read all the 5-star reviews at nubrakes.com. While you're there, schedule your repair at newbrakes.com, nubrakes.com.
There's only one way to do Saturdays with the Saturday Morning Hangover. James Pledger and Jack Thompson getting you ready for all the weekend's games and then some. Saturday mornings 9 to 11, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Hey y'all, I'm Grant Pinkerton of Pinkerton's Barbecue in downtown San Antonio. We only smoke prime meats with a blend of post oak and mesquite. Come see us for some of those giant beef ribs, tender brisket, and a cold big red. We have a Texas-sized bar, great selection of bourbon, and tons of local beers. I love sports, so we have plenty of screens to watch them on. We're open Wednesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner or until we sell out. Come early, come hungry, and stay late.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, your home to 7 days a week happy hour. Come eat, drink, and socialize safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And now you can join us bright and early at the newest location, Slackers Medical Center. Now opens at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center at Fredericksburg and Medical Drive. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 area locations to quench your thirst.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck. So you ordered the essentials: a power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
This is the Dispatch Health House Call Team.
Hi there.
They provide urgent medical care in the comfort and privacy of your own home. And now, you can request a medical house call with the touch of a button. Yep, it's that easy. The Dispatch Health Team arrives at your door able to treat everything an urgent care can, and more. They come fully equipped with COVID-19 tests and can treat COVID-19 conditions in your home. They also treat a wide range of everyday issues, including respiratory infections like flu and pneumonia, migraines, dehydration, sprains, strains, and minor fractures. Plus, Dispatch Health is in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicare Advantage. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay safe, and let Dispatch Health come to you. Do you have questions about getting a house call during the COVID-19 pandemic or want to sign up for your free account? Visit dispatchhealth.com. Again, that's dispatchhealth.com.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, and as he said, probably better than I will, it's brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Spurs getting ready to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. We know who's come to town with them. Let's talk about it in the trade deadline with Evan Klosky, currently, but not for long, of Kings 5. You got some news to break for us and tell the listeners?
Yeah, I'm accepting a sports director position in Tampa Bay.
and I'll be staying within the same company of Tegna, but and the same affiliate as CBS. But yeah, my last day at Ken's is next Friday, so it's coming quick.
Just
Well, the good news is
it's ring chasing.
Yeah, you're chasing a ring, man. You are no better. You are literally no better than an old aging tight end. You're no better than that. You just show up.
The difference is he could get a Super Bowl ring or a Stanley Cup ring. I mean, I don't think we have to worry about a World Series ring, except for you just have to call it Tampa, not Tampa Bay. The people in Tampa Bay are pretty particular about that. There's no Bay. It's just the city of Tampa.
Well, I'll tell you this, that Kent 5 was trying to trade me, but, under amicable terms, we reached the buyout, and I was able to select the market, and we're all, it was very peaceful, very peaceful.
There's a great bar called Hat Tricks over there by the arena. You'll thank me later.
I appreciate the rec. I need them.
All right, Evan. Now you can maintain your Spurs fandom unless you want to jump in on those Toronto Raptors who spend some time down there periodically during pandemics. But in the meantime, your Spurs follow, I'm sure, will maintain. Spurs. Well, with that in mind, as you about to exit, the Spurs have the possibility of actually changing their roster a little bit. We're about 20 hours away from the deadline. Do you expect to see any movement? And if so, who do you think will move?
I don't expect to see anything. And the only thing outside of a buyout from Marcus Aldridge, maybe they work out a tiny little deal to trade Trey Lyles if, there's some animosity and he wants more playing time elsewhere. And, the Spurs don't really envision needing him the second half of the year, though. On a night like tonight without Rudy Gay, I imagine Trey Lyles is going to find some minutes. But outside of maybe a tiny deal like that, nothing that's going to move the meter. And I think it's going to be status quo for San Antonio, which is what we're used to here.
It really is what we're used to, but I mean, actually, we're not used to what the Spurs team has been. So, maybe there is something in the offing if somebody offers a nice deal for, say, a DeMar. I find it, interesting that both Lonnie Walker and Rudy Gay are out tonight, and it happens to be the night of the trade deadline, although we do know that both of them do have injuries, the bumps, bruises types that would typically keep them out. But it is interesting that they're both out, and they both have been talked about a lot.
Yeah, and with Lonnie, at least with Lonnie and the wrist injury, that is something we've known about for months now. He's been dealing with that injury almost the entire season. So with that, and we see him wincing on the court. So that's for sure legitimate. And even on the Rudy Gay side of things, which for sure raises a red flag there because, we haven't really heard as much like Lonnie's wrist injury. I still don't know what the Spurs are going to get for Rudy. And the only way that they'd move him is if the front office believes that addition by subtraction, that maybe trading Rudy opens up minutes to other guys they want to take a look at. But having said that, I mean, when you look up and down the plus, the on off, the plus minus and all that stuff, it's just Rudy is second on the team right now. Him and Patty, just the on off, like plus differential is insane. And I know people are like, well, Rudy plays with these people and whatever. It's like, but his role is a backup. His role is in the second rotation. And he is a vital player to have in that second rotation. And usually he dominates in those minutes. So we can debate whether he should be closing games and be in those rotations. I'm for sure up for that discussion. But Rudy definitely has value on this team in pursuit of making the playoffs, which, we know the Spurs want to be in the playoffs. That is always the main objective for them.
Evan Klosky joining us here on ESPN San Antonio of Kins 5 currently, but heading to warmer and damper climes, I guess, or more humid climes in Tampa.
Certainly more humid.
When you brought up Rudy, and he seems like the easiest piece to move because, he's a professional bucket getter. That's what he's always been. And there are teams that need that. And the Spurs have certainly utilized it. And you brought it up. I mean, his numbers are really good for this team. But the way he does it does kind of get in the way of some of the things that I think Pop is trying to do. He's an ISO guy, and it does tend to kind of slow the flow down when he gets in there. It's effective, but it's just not what the Spurs do on a regular basis. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm really looking at the guys that have value that also have a fair amount of value with the Spurs as well. DeJounte certainly seems on the trend of being a long time, multi-year Spur. We feel like Keldon Johnson has that possibility. Who do you foresee to be the third in these young guns and the most likely to stay in the long term after those two?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Derek White. Derek White has had just the worst year with luck. I mean, had the toe injury, then re-injures the dang toe. The first game he comes back, then gets the COVID issue. So we still haven't gotten in rhythm Derek, and the closest we got was towards that hot streak before the COVID stoppage, and he was really starting to piece it together. We saw a great night from him the other night, which makes up, sort of the, progression to the mean for how bad he was against Milwaukee. But Derek White is still, in my opinion, the best all-around player the Spurs have when he is in full rhythm, which should be fairly soon. I think we're going to see peak Derek in about a week or so, that we'll get consistency there. And then beyond that, I think Devin Vassell. I think he is a guy that is going to emerge and be just a rock star for these Spurs. Right now, you're just seeing Vassell play his 3-and-D role, and that is, I wish he was playing it more, to be honest. I think he deserves more minutes because he is such an amazing defender. But when this team blossoms into the product that we know they're going to be, defense is going to be the calling card, and Devin Vassell is going to be the head of the snake on that defense in like 2 years. We're going to be like, oh my goodness, this guy has progressed so much. How did the Spurs get him at 11, whatever it was? Like that, Devin Vassell is going to be that guy. Just, it's going to take a little bit of time because he doesn't have the keys to the car yet.
Evan Klosky from Ken's 5 with us here on ESPN San Antonio, talking Spurs Clippers tonight. And, the roller coaster Spurs, they lose one the other night that they had no business losing. Way too many turnovers, sloppy play all around. Had a chance at the end, but in reality, I mean, there's just not a good game. What do you expect tonight in the bounce back in the first night of 2 against that dude and the Clippers?
Yeah, well, that dude loves playing against San Antonio. Loves playing against all teams. He's great, but I think he's 26, 6, and 2 steals against San Antonio. So you're going to get his best shot. I expect the Spurs to win one of these 2 games. The Clippers only once have swept a team in sort of these back-to-back matchups, and that was the Thunder very early in the season. Very tough to sweep in these matchups. Tonight, I think you're going to see a focused group. As long as San Antonio can limit the Clippers as much from deep to the NBA's best 3-point team, if they can not get bombed like they did against the Jazz that one night way back when, they can avoid sort of that deal and just kind of stick them out there and do their best. I think they'll be just fine. Very interested to see what lineups are going to be thrown out there without Rudy Gay and without Lonnie Walker, but I think they'll be just fine as well because we're going to get minutes from guys that we want to see more of, as Devin Vassell and maybe a little bit of Trey Lyles here and there. But yeah, look, the other night, DeJounte didn't have his best game. Keldon didn't have his best game. Rudy stunk it up. And you mentioned it. Look, when the Spurs give up 22 points off turnovers, they're going to lose those games. And their defense was actually phenomenal. Like in the grand scheme of things, I know they had moments where they were giving up threes and they had that bad stretch. But if you eliminate the 22 points off turnovers, I mean, they gave up like 80 points, 78 points. Now, I expect they're not going to get zipped in that category, but they would have won that game easily if they just protected the ball, which is something they do night in and night out. So that was a bit of an outlier, and they're going to lose those games if they have 14, 15 turnovers. So as long as they protect the ball, as long as they can protect the glass a little bit, they're going to win those games. I'm confident in them every night when they do those things.
And part of the turnovers affects the scoring, but they're not going to win any games if they're only scoring 97. I mean, the benchmark has got to be about 110 to talk about a win, whatever it takes. We can talk defense all we want. You got to score at least 110 if you're going to win.
For the if the Spurs score 110, so their average offense is around 110. That's where they come in at. If they hit their average, I mean, they really should win all of those games. Like, with the way that their defense is, they're pretty much on the precipice of a top 5 defense. They're at number 6 right now. If they do what they do at 110, they should win all of those games. I think 105, you're getting into the danger area where it's going to come down to a couple possessions who closes strongest. And then a game like the other night where you give up 100, but you have all those turnovers and it messes up your entire offensive flow. you're probably going to lose those games, and it creates a dicey situation. But, because this team is so defensively minded, they can survive those offensive outings, but they can't survive the sloppiness. They can't. That's going to be the tipping point.
The sloppiness. Evan Klosky joining us here as we look at the Spurs. Can you find a reason other than just youth and injuries and COVID and all that for just this erratic, bipolar team where you can see an extraordinary game once and they can't maintain it even within 24 hours or 48 hours, and it looks like a completely different team just a couple of days past? Do you attribute that to youth or a new system that Pop's trying and everybody's trying to learn it and we keep losing pieces and parts? Or why do you not see any more consistency than we do?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I'm sure the schedule is a little bit a part of that. I mean, this is the most grueling schedule any NBA team has had to face, not just the Spurs, but all teams, just never having more than one day of rest, back-to-backs like crazy, jam-packing all these games. So you're just going to have ebbs and flows. And, what we saw on that road trip, even though they went 3-2, it was honestly outside of the Philly game where they were just mostly horrible, outside of, I think, Derek White that game. Mm-hmm. It was just, I mean, it's just a wave, right? I mean, the Bulls game could not have watched a worse product that first half. Like you guys tell me when you see the Spurs look that bad. And then in the second half, it was like, this team's winning a championship. It's like, and you just had like the Cavaliers game, right? Just tremendous, just blowing out the Cavs, and then they let them come back. And then they have like 2 great minutes, and then they just play like crud again. And it's like, what is going on here? So I think that, with tons of depth, you create a little bit of different rotations and lineups, and you're still mixing and matching and finding the right pieces. And because of all the injuries and the COVID stuff, and now you got a couple more injuries, we haven't seen consistent rotations from San Antonio. And honestly, the one of the most consistent rotations we've seen is their current starting lineup. And, Murray, White, Keldon, DeRozan, Pirtle, outside of the 4 games we missed DeRozan, they're at like 188 possessions, and they're plus 11. So if you're part of the, hey, I want DeRozan back, side of things, that is going to bolster your argument, because for once in a long time, the starting unit they have is actually producing a net positive, and by a wide margin, which goes to show you kind of me believing in this group. That's why I kind of have a lot of confidence in where they're going, and I kind of write off the Hornets loss for a bunch of little things that are pretty correctable.
Defend Scary Terry a little bit better might be the answer to that. He is Evan Klosky at Ken's 5 Sports. We'll be right back looking at the starting lineups. We'll look at what the Clippers are bringing. Are we getting a playoff, George? We'll find out. Hang around. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. I think about the smart home technology that I have throughout my house. One thing that I bet a lot of people wish they had during that winter freeze was the water valve controller that they have there at BSG. Could save you thousands if you have a water leak. And let's face it, you don't have to have a hard freeze for a pipe to bust and flood your house. Happens every day. The smart valve from BSG, it goes on your main water line. If it detects any leaks, it will turn off your water, and then you get a notification on your phone. The smart valve will shut down a leak before it can turn into a flood. Stay ahead of water waste and high bills. Monitor your water usage and pipes right from your phone. Talk about smart home technology from a company you can trust, and the peace of mind your home is protected even if you're not home. You're not going to come home to a flooded house. BSG of Texas, making smart home automation simple. Call 210-877-1222, 877-1222, or go to the website bsgtexas.com/radio. That's bsgtexas.com/radio.
It's time for ESPN San Antonio's Big Score. This hour's keyword is Texans. Enter that keyword at ESPNSA.com for your chance to win $1,000. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here for my friends at Alamo Water Softeners. You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Having a water softener is not a luxury item. It is a necessity. And I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners for about a decade. Love it. Wouldn't live in a home without one. You get yours, you're instantly going to notice the difference on your dishes coming out of the dishwasher. You'll feel the difference on your skin and hair as you get out of the shower, your clothes that are coming out of a washing machine. And an Alamo Water Softener will save you money because it will extend the life of those appliances. Now, after the winter storm, a lot of people had two questions about their water. Is it safe? And if you have a water softener, do you need a water filter? Well, Alamo Water Softeners actually recommends both a water softener and a filtration system, because a water softener will take the hardness and minerals out of the water, but there are some chemicals and contaminants that it can't remove. A filtration system will. Smart thing for you to do is call Alamo Water Softeners, have them out to your house. They'll give you a free water analysis. So they'll test your water and give you a free estimate. And you're dealing with a great local company owned by the Townsends. Great product, even better customer service. In fact, on the Nextdoor app, Alamo Water Softeners was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. They are the best value for the highest quality water treatment. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com. You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Indeed knows unexpected demand can stretch your business thin.
Leon speaking.
Like at Leon's Plumbing.
Sorry, quick as we can get there is next Friday.
To stay out of hot water, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Meal Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed meal enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Meal Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Meal Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Alamo Cycleplex. If you're looking to purchase a new power sport vehicle, if you're shopping for a new toy to put in your garage, or you're ready to head out to the lake and something pretty and fast, I want you to head over to Alamo Cycleplex first. They're located over on I-10 in De Zavala, just up from there. They're locally owned. I was over there the other day, met all the great staff. It is a beautiful showroom, and behind it, you know, they've got a test track for your multi-purpose vehicles to go along with it. Alamo Cycleplex has 7 power sport brands under one roof, and you'll no doubt find exactly what you want when you head over to Alamo Cycleplex. Bring the family. I'll tell you what, this year has taught me more than anything else. Getting the family together, getting outdoors is the best thing that I can do. And if you're heading into the summer looking for the same, Alamo Cycleplex has a variety of different things to keep you happy and keep the family entertained. Go check out their website, alamocycleplex.com. You'll see a list of great reviews over there, but really, you're not going to know enough unless you head over. alamocycleplex.com. Head over to I-10 in De Zavala. Alamo Cycleplex, they're waiting on you.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili. Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. We are joined by Evan Klosky of Kids 5 Sports. Getting ready for the Clips tonight, 7:30 tip with fans in the stands. Clippers taking on the Spurs tonight. Looking at the starting lineups, it's the usual suspects. Reggie Jackson looks to be getting the start at the point guard tonight. We get to see some of the old foes there in Serge Ibaka and Nick Batum on that roster as well. Spurs with the lineup that we've become very accustomed to of late. With the Clippers in town, they've had some troubles, though they have won 2 in a row. Watching the Lakers start to probably plummet over the next couple of weeks. There's blood in the water there at the top of the West. How important is it for, one, the Spurs to get a win coming off the 2 games tonight, but more about the Clippers, too? Do they need this to hang on there up at the top of the West?
Yeah, I mean, first off, this is actually a kind of a good time for the Spurs to play the Clippers. They're winners in 7 of the last 15. The team finally got back-to-back wins for the first time in like a month. So, yeah, I mean, you know, the Clippers are kind of a little bit desperate, which that's concerning. But you're also not getting them at full strength. They won't have Patrick Beverley. You know, they won't have. I don't think Serge Ibaka. Did he come off the injury report?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. So Ibaka, he's out as well. So that's a little helpful, at least, you know, in the paint. And Pirtle doesn't have to go all the way out there from deep to guard, because that's his one weakness on defense. Do I think it's 100% necessary that the Spurs have to win tonight? I don't. Do I think that the Spurs need to win 1 of 2? Absolutely. And of course, nobody wants to see a loss and then have to sit there the next night with this team and how they perform on the second nights of back-to-back and, you know, cross fingers for a win. So usually the Spurs come out hot in these front ends of the Sega Babas, and you know, we'll see if they can perform like they usually do and get that first win, because then I think we can all swallow the loss on the second night when it inevitably comes.
I think
Jason,
Rob is just happy you use Sega Babas.
Well, he didn't use it correctly. You're going to have to get it right. Tonight is a Figa Baba. Tomorrow is a Sega Baba.
Yeah, you're right. You're correct. That's right. Yeah. I got to work Figa Baba into my vernacular.
Well, and again, when you think about, you know, you've got the game tonight, I'm a little bit more concerned about it just knowing how the Clippers have been playing in the last game when Ty Lue benched everybody and then they were able to come back and win. And you also have the trade deadline. And so you wonder what's going to be going on during the game, you know, phone calls that are happening. But as Pop said pregame, don't expect much.
Both ways. You know, it depends on how the team is playing, what the needs are. If there's anything that's glaring, we've historically, you know, not done a lot at trade deadline, but when we have, it's been meaningful. You know, I remember one year Nazi Muhammad helped us win a championship, and that wasn't something that we expected or, you know, planned way ahead of time. It just seemed like we needed another big at the time, and he came in and gave us good minutes. You know, on the other hand, the continuity and everybody feeling comfortable with each other and knowing exactly how you play can be very important too. So it just depends on the individual situation of the team.
See, he didn't kill the idea. He said historically we haven't done it. So I think the Spurs are actually going to make a deal tonight.
What continuity?
Exactly.
Exactly. They don't have any. Let's get rid of all of them.
Do the old reverse psychology move. I like it. I'm surprised he didn't mention Gonzaga great Austin Day and that tremendous trade.
I was so excited when they went and got Austin Day. I thought that's the long 4 we need, man. He has everything we could. That guy didn't even unpack his suitcase. He wasn't here so short a time. He is Evan Klosky here joining us at Kins 5, getting ready for the Clips tonight and then again tomorrow. You know, as we see the Spurs and heading toward the playoffs, is it a safe statement to say they're going to be playing at the end of the season? Now, they might not be officially in the playoffs in one of those top 8, but it's hard to fathom that they're not going to be in the 10th spot, no matter what they do over the next 20 hours. Is that where the Spurs need to be, or should it be, you know, maybe get another draft pick, hang back, and get close but no cigar, but draft higher?
You know, I have a tough time believing that this group is not going to play in the playoffs, and it might be in the play-in game scenario, totally. But having said that, even with a trade, unless it involves DeMar DeRozan, I think that's really the transformative piece that would rock things to the point where I'm like, they might not make it, depending on what kind of value they'd get. For the most part, they're going to be in the playoffs. Again, you know, they're top 15, they're 11th in the league in differential. They're plus 1.2, nothing crazy, but that's pretty darn good. And then also, I mentioned their tremendous defense. The move since Jakob Poeltl has been in the starting lineup, top notch. We've loved what we've seen there. DeJounte, Derek, and Yak completely changed the game, defensively speaking. And as long as you have those three as your core, you're going to win some ball games. And I have a tough time believing that this group is going to completely fall off the map. Even if you trade Rudy Gay, I don't see that things are going to be transformatively different. Like maybe the offense has maybe one or two bad games here or there that second unit can't fish you out of.
Right.
But I'm confident in this group. The numbers don't lie for me, and I'm kind of riding with them.
All right, Evan. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. We hope to talk to you soon. Headed toward the Bay Area, the Tampa Bay Area. Chasing that ring, Evan Klosky. Thanks for stopping by. This has been Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We'll be back tomorrow to prepare you for the Sega Bubba. Y'all be safe. We'll talk tomorrow.
Mother's Window Tint sells Alpine car stereo. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is the nation's newest Alpine